Hey, what is the deal, YouTube? It is Craig Harris, the black man in the green chair, and I am back after a 12-hour sabbatical. With some gaming news and things like that. A few more people wanted me to go in a little bit onto the Spider-Man thing, some spoilers. Last night I did some Easter eggs. Shout out to everybody out there that's watching, everybody on the East Coast and the left coast. It's about to be pool time for the kid. I can officially report baseball season is over. We had a nice little run there, but it is over. We played 12 games. We ended up 500. I can't fault the kids. They did well. It was fun coaching them. Parents to listen to the podcast. That's cool. Check it out. You know, it was fun coaching the kids. It was fun hanging out with them. So there's a big shout out to them. Where exactly the podcast is, so I can come over there. And all right, there's everybody. All right. So, well, what's happening, everybody? Like I said, the black man in the green chair on the second day of his vacation or his 4 days off. Did a little running around, got the rest of the evening off, got some church stuff to do tomorrow. But I will be bending the proverbial elbow. I'm going to finish my X-Men comic book, Kitty Pryde, today. Got about another 40 pages left, but she doing some good shit for the X-Men. So, but what's happening out there? I wanted to get this one squares in. Shout out to everybody out there. You know, One Stop for Gamers, Bear Hugger 29. Thanks for coming yesterday, Bear Hugger. Sorry the link didn't work. If you available, you want to jump in, you can. I know I owe you one. Man, let's see. Shout out to Fox, Weapon Wheel Podcast. Everybody out there keeping it gaming, staying away from the BS and the drama. So, but I got some gaming news here. I'll start with some breaking news. If you were in Montreal, to all my Canadian brothers up there, there's a Comic-Con up there today, 4 p.m. And if you want to go there and talk to BioWare about Mass Effect and how they brought the Mass Effect world to life, be my guest. It starts at 4 p.m. Eastern time. I personally, if I went to that Comic-Con, I'd throw a shoe at them for what they did to Andromeda. But nevertheless, I'm not saying that you all need to do that. But that just broke. BioWare just put that up today. And I'm sure there's other. I probably knew about this, but I just didn't care. I mean, after what they did to Andromeda, I got a quick commentary because one of the Mass Effect podcasts is now officially off the air. It ended yesterday. They did a pre-rendered podcast. I'll give you the name if you all want to check it out. And but I'll go down on commentary. But I'll go ahead and start with Hellblade. Hellblade comes out August 8th. And so we are 1 month away from this game. Senua's Sacrifice is from Ninja Theory. They made this game with 20 to 25 people. Just so you know, 20 to 25 people. Again, Celtic Warrior. She's going through the Viking version of Hell. So now, if you want to know what Thor Ragnarok's Hell is like and things like that, Hela and all that, you're going to see some things that you'll see some things in this game that you're going to also see in Thor Ragnarok. Remember, I told you guys this stuff's going to start crossing over because Thor stuff is a lot of their stuff, their mythology is based on Norse, I believe. So, but Hellblade is August 8th. This is from PlayStation Blog. I wonder if all that there's the links in the description. So, so everybody check that out if they're going to get it. I've heard people say, what's the next game coming out? July is actually a dead month for gaming. It always has been. As an old man, let me tell you all, it is a dead month. It's really never. There's been 1 or 2 years where there were some major summer releases. I can't remember when Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I think that was a summer game. Maybe that was an August game. But for the most part, most of the games are coming out. You're going to get spring releases up to June, and then July is a vacation month. People, they're on vacation. People are outside, actually. People like me, I'm outside. So, but like I said, the whole baseball thing, I'm done with that. So I'm officially got 1 foot back into gaming, on console. I still got 1 foot out. We have awards coming up Wednesday or Thursday night. I think it's Wednesday night. I'll double check that. But yeah, I'll be gaming again Saturday, the 14th, 15th. So that weekend, I will be putting in some work on there because I've had my break. I took my 6-week sabbatical like I always do. So I wasn't going to change that because of the channel that I have. So, but again, Hellblade, day 1 pickup for me. Ninja Theory, let's give them credit. 20 people making this game. I'm excited about it. It will have a physical and a digital copy. Again, the digital copy is confirmed. If you pre-order it, you get like 2 or 3 different skins or different outfits for this young lady. So definitely going to holler at that because that's an August game. Now, the next August game on the 22nd, of course, everybody knows is is Uncharted, the DLC for Uncharted, the standalone DLC. You do not need the Uncharted disc, allegedly. So this is standalone DLC. It's supposed to be anywhere from 6 to 8 hours long, but I have to wait and see how it works. I will tell you this. Who's calling me? If this DLC works out, we may see Sully and Sam in a DLC. That's not out of the window, but that is down the road. Naughty Dog, when they finish this game, which it's in the final prep, when they finish this game, they are going to move most of their staff, like 80%, to finish The Last of Us. So yes, I said finish The Last of Us. The Last of Us is almost done. It's almost done. So we'll just have to wait and see how that comes along. I'm excited about that. Who else isn't? That Last of Us is arguably the best game, this gen, last gen, however you want to put it. It's up in the top 5. Everybody just got to keep it 100 here. It's in the top 5 of everybody's. It's up there with The Witcher and the rest of those games. So, but nevertheless, let's keep it hustling here. Keep it moving. Madden. Because we're in August now. Madden comes out 3 days after the DLC of Uncharted. It's August 25th. This is coming from our friends at US Gamer Net. It's going to be on the Frostbite engine. This is the first time I believe Madden's been on Frostbite. Again, EA is moving all stuff to the Frostbite engine. But it's got some different changes here. One thing that just broke this morning is Deshaun Watson turned 82. So whoever's going to use him as quarterback, he's a confirmed 82. That's not bad for a rookie quarterback. Most rookie quarterbacks start between 82 and 86. So that's actually pretty good. So, but he got an 82, so he ought to be able to wreck some stuff. So get some first downs, things like that. It's got the coverage assignments, which is brand new. I think they're going to, because you're used to this come up on Madden. Let's just say you're in a 4-3 zone. Your guys are going to play zone all the time. If the coverage assignments work the way they should, you should be able to put some guys in zone, some guys in man-to-man, some guys in a quarter zone, some guys in a deep zone. So hopefully they change to individualize that, whether that be in pre-snap or audibling defensively at the line of scrimmage, because in order to beat a guy like an Aaron Rodgers, a Tom Brady, you've got to, when he comes up and sees the coverage, when he comes up and sees the defense, you have to make sure you're in a spot where he's not anticipating. If you're just in a zone, Tom Brady and Rodgers, man, they'll pick you apart in real life and on that game. So we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. But the long shot story mode on there, that's more like a cinematic movie. You're going to play a kid who comes in off the bench in high school and leads his team back against incredible odds. So it's almost like an interactive movie is what it's been described as. We'll have to see how that plays out. I am going to buy Madden. I have no idea if it's going to have a Pro build or if it's going to have a Xbox X build. I mean, even if it has a Xbox X build, the Xbox X won't be out till what? The football season will be 3/4 over by the time it hits. So, but again, they do have marketing, and you should start seeing commercials for it like in a week and a half. But they have a marketing deal. They mean EA. They've got a nice, snuggly marketing deal with Microsoft, and people can't get upset because EA had a nice marketing snuggly deal with Mass Effect Andromeda with Sony. So nobody needs to be getting upset. EA's just kind of spreading the love, you know, the way those guys are. They're spreading it like a herpy. Also, let's move on to Horizon Zero Dawn. They added, and I didn't know this, they added face paint and customization. So for the people who are still playing, what's up there in the chat? The people who are still playing this game, fantastic. I haven't played this game in a while. They now have another mode where you can get another trophy if you beat it on extra hard or very hard, something like that. You know, you all may want to check that out. I don't know if I want to go back and play it, but the veteran players, they're apparently, it won't let you go above level 50 with her. And the DLC is going to have new machines. DLC is going to have new machines, a new area to explore, and it looks like it's a fairly big area. So shout out to everybody who's going to buy that. I'll probably buy that again. When I played Horizon, I did not have HDR hooked into my TV. I thought I did. I thought my TV automatically defaulted to HDR, but because I have an entry-level Samsung TV, I have to tell my TV it has HDR. So it's silly, but that's, you know, the newer TVs, they automatically default to it. So my TV didn't. So I'm gonna go back and play it again. But since I've already beaten it, I'm gonna play Nier Automata, Elite Dangerous. I'm gonna be getting into that next. So, but apparently the DLC, it's coming, and it's supposed to be a pretty big chunk. You will absolutely have to own the other Horizon disc, allegedly. So for all you folks that traded it in, or I don't know if that means it has to be an active file or you just have to have files on. So have to wait and see how that goes, but that's available for pre-order right now. No release date on it, so I wouldn't pre-order it because there's no release date on it, but it just says fall. So I would expect this game in probably September, you know, after Madden, but before Destiny, you know, something like that, or maybe a week or two after Destiny. Again, I have no information on that, just that's where I would expect it. But anybody who is still playing that game, I didn't know you could do face paint and customizations with Aloy. I certainly hope they put something in where you can cut her hair. I think that would be cool. That I just think they could. There's a lot of other things they could do with her, but we'll have to wait and see. To me, they got a cool character. Shout out to Guerrilla Games. That was, oh man, did I cover all 4 stories? Yeah, that was pretty much it. That was pretty much my gaming break there. That's pretty much what I wanted to call this. But yeah, I'm buying Hellblade, so I'm excited about that. And but that's it. So so Joy Juice on the last podcast, I just seen Spider-Man. It had a lot of Easter eggs for Miles Morales. So yeah. And again, I give Spider-Man again a solid one. I'm gonna go. There are some spoilers I'll go into. The in-cut scenes were really good. You get trolled by Captain America, but it's a good one. I enjoyed it. So they've canonized Miles Morales, which confirms that Marvel wanted to do a Miles Morales Spider-Man, but Sony wanted to do a Peter Parker Spider-Man. You know, so that's, and if you watch the Spider-Man video game trailer at the end, when that kid's saying, hey, let's go, come on, Miles, let's go, that's Miles Morales. So, you know, so we'll have to, so just so you guys, a lot of people didn't know. Okay, a lot of people didn't know. And also I said last night, in case you missed it, Variety magazine got fooled allegedly by that Spider-Man video game. They actually thought that was the movie. So you know, MJ and MJ2, which I knew it was. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Again, the Spider-Man, I like that MJ. She's woke. I mean, she had some lines in there and some zingers. So I mean, she was funny. But I've said to people before, what they're doing is, because people thought, well, because he doesn't understand how to work his Spider-Man suit and things like that. That's because he's only 14, 15 years old. So what they're wanting is the younger audience, because we old guys, we got our superheroes. We got Black Panther and Captain America and Hawkeye. We got all our guys, you know, Thor, Hulk. Kids can't really relate to them. But if you're a kid, what did Marvel have in their universe that a child could relate to? The answer is nothing. So they got a 14-year-old, 15-year-old Spider-Man, and Tom Holland's 20. So what they want is your kids to grow with the characters, the same way Lucasfilm did with Star Wars. He cast a 19-year-old in Daisy Ridley and a 20-year-old in John Boyega so that the people who are 14, 15, 16 can grow with those characters. That's how they cast these movies. So Marvel knows what they're doing. Like I said, the movie, I liked it more than Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman wasn't bad. It wasn't like Wonder Woman was a bad movie. So, but yeah, that was pretty much it. Like I said, I did my Xbox news yesterday. I told you all about the gifts they're going to be able to do, which to me is not a big deal, but that is what it is. Okay, to me, you can buy somebody a gaming code and just send it to them via email. But that's another feature they're adding. And again, we like features. We're gamers. We like features. So that's great. Also that they've Xbox is I think that was it. That was their major news. Sony did take down the what happened this week? Sony did take down the Anthem coverage, which they should have. And whoever put that video up there, whoever was in charge of that at Sony should have been fired like the day it went up. I don't know how that happened. So October is not looking for a good month. Well, you're right, EJ. In October, you're going to have to recover from August. I mean, at least if you're a Sony person, you know, if you're going to buy all three of these games on the Sony platform, if you buy Madden on the Sony platform, that's 3 games on that platform in August. Hellblade, Uncharted, and whatchamacallit. Now you may wait and buy the Xbox X and get some kind of special build or something like that on the new Xbox. I don't know. Nothing. EA's not announced anything yet. I don't think they have. So, but I haven't really looked into it because I'm more into Madden. I'm buying Madden anyway, so it didn't matter to me. So I agree, Halo Storm. They got a real story mode. So. And, of course, Madden's going to have its simulation mode. It's going to have its arcade mode. So it's also got a new mode, a high-risk mode. So high risk, high reward. So, and still, Madden still got the same stuff. So, yeah, Ni no Kuni 2 is coming out. You think about it, are you going to get it? I might get it, but I got to beat all the other games. I mean, the complaint I've got about Sony as far as their game is that for me anyway, because I haven't played games in about 6 weeks because I've been doing other stuff. They've got too much stuff. Okay, I mean, I still got to play Yakuza, Nier, and Neo, and Persona. That alone, those 4 games alone are going to take me a long time to beat on those games. So, and I got Elite Dangerous. I'm getting that next Saturday, and then Madden's coming out, and Hellblade's coming out. And Horizon DLC stuff's coming out. And if you add, at least for me, if you add the Naughty Dog, that's 10 games. 10 games that I've got to get, you know, that I'm going to have to be playing over the next 6 months. So I'm good. You know, I'm good. So that's just the way it is, though. So, yeah, I mean, Mario, the thing with MJ is that most people thought that's who it was. but in her initials, and her name's Michelle. So, but her initials are going to be MJ. And what that is that's fan service, because Mary Jane Watson, for Marvel, they don't want her to exist in their MCU. Okay, they just don't want it. Yeah, I still don't know about Destiny 2. But to me, the funny thing about Destiny 2 is that it was a kick in the balls to all the people who said all games on the new Xbox are going to be 4K native and 60. I mean, it wasn't. They got hit in their face. So I'm loving it. So yeah, well, see, I thought Lost Legacy was only $29.99. Or is it Hellblade? Hellblade, I thought was $29.99, and Lost Legacy maybe $39. So, yeah, I'm hurt. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you right now, I'm hurting in August. So, and that's my birthday month. So, I will be working hard at the end of July and being poor at the end of the month. That's just the way it's going to roll for me, for the kid. So, the thing that's going to take the hit is my PC build. Because I got to get all those games. Now, granted, Yakuza, Nier Automata, and all that stuff, those games, I can get those games on a discount, like at a GameStop or a Target. So, you know, she's confirmed to be, yeah. So she's confirmed to be 2 new characters put into one. But, yeah, well, yeah, she actually is a created character for them. But understand, Marvel and Sony, when they... Sony was in charge of with Spider-Man. They were in charge with casting, okay? And Sony wanted to do Peter Parker. Marvel, however, wanted to do Miles Morales. That's why there's the Miles Morales Easter eggs were Donald Glover's character, the guy he stuck to the car, and he used that ridiculous voice module that had me rolling. Yeah, I'm not a boy. I'm not a girl. I'm a boy, or I'm a man. He said something like that. So, but that's Miles Morales' uncle. That was a nod to Miles Morales. That's why when he was looking at the weapons, he said, I don't want anything that's going to teleport people back in time. I just want to stick some people up. And he asked him about the climbing stuff. Remember, he said, I got some scaling stuff here. He said, oh, well, let me take a look at that. Because he's a cat burglar. His nickname is the Prowler. So, yeah, Hellblade is discounted. And I suggest everybody just go ahead and get it because it's discounted. It's $29. I mean, $29. Good Lord. You know, so, but yeah, I like that MJ. She's low-key woke. You know, I mean, I like that shit. So, the uncle is a villain. Yeah. Yeah, he's a bad guy. He would be a low level. He's a burglar. Okay, he's a burglar. So, he's the same. He's the black version of Ant-Man in the Miles Morales universe. Ant-Man's a burglar, and so is the Prowler. They the same kind of character. So they burgle you. They don't rob you, you know, maliciously, like get in your face and hit you over your head. They go in on a sneak in and get your shit. So same thing. So, but with that said, however, that was Sony was able to get that stuff in because if and when Sony decides to pull Peter Parker, Spider-Man, out, Marvel will have a Spider-Man in their universe. It'll just be Miles Morales. That may be a negotiated term as well. And again, Sony just didn't let Marvel do that. They negotiated that. So, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, Mario knows his stuff. So, yeah, he is, and everybody knows he breaks into Oscorp and that Spider climbs into his bag and he puts the bag in Miles' room, and then Miles gets bit, and you know, rest is he becomes Spider-Man. So, but yeah, like I said, guys, the Horizon DLC, I'm buying that. That's shit. I'll be broke. P.O. So you know, can't afford the O&R. So, but that's the way it's gonna roll for me this fall. And you know, it'll be football season. I'll be tailgating, so all that stuff's gonna come up too. So. But yep, Hellblade is a definite thing for me. But back on Spider-Man though, I love me some Mary Jane. She was cool. Even the girl he liked was helped set up the homecoming signs and stuff like that. You're gonna be on Fox. If you text me or direct message me, I'm off tomorrow, so I'll try to get on there. Marvel isn't doing Miles soon. They're doing a Miles Morales Spider-Man cartoon. So they're doing him, and the fact that they gave a nod to him means he exists in the universe. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, Peter Parker is going to be Spider-Man for at least 3 films, and they're going to have him in the Avenger films too. And he's already shot some of his Avenger stuff. So, so yeah. I mean, you're right about that. So, yeah, discounted. Yeah, and again, Sony has not done a good job of letting people know that. They are, however, putting a shitload of video up and commercials up for God of War, and God of War ain't coming out till next year. So I'm like, okay, why are you showing a bunch of God of War commercials on YouTube and the game's not coming out? Hellblade will be out in 1 month. That's what's up with it. They actually made that game with 25 people, and it's going to be her journey through Hell, the Viking version of Hell, which you will see also on the big screen with Thor Ragnarok, out of the same lore. So Ragnarok in Viking actually means the end of time, or however you want to call it, end of days. So it's going to be, we're going to see how it goes. So, but yeah, if you pre-order it, you get a discount and you get like 2 different outfits. So, but yeah, y'all should check that out. $29 ain't bad, but if you want to wait, I get that too, because the Uncharted stuff is coming out 2 weeks after that, and then 2 days after Uncharted, Madden comes out. So everybody's good on that. Everybody's got something, whether you want to do the DLC with Aloy, you want to do the DLC or the Hellblade stuff, which is going to be a slash type Darksiders game, and then you got Madden. So yeah, she is. They actually have she has a psychotic breakdown during the game. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So she is. It's going to have a little bit of everything on there. But yeah, if you're going to make a Darksiders game, just give your character some post-traumatic stress. That'd be good. So PS4 bundle for March. That's fine. I mean, March is a long ways off though, bro. That's 10 months away. Now, granted, I know it's Q4, so it's business Q4. I understand that, but I don't want to see commercials for games coming out in 10 months when you got Sony needs to be pushing like Hellblade and the Uncharted shit, right now. This is my opinion, but I mean, I don't want people to say, you don't say nothing negative about Sony. I mean, to me, it's like showing a bunch of movie previews for movies not coming out for a year. I don't like that either. So show me the movie preview when it's 90 days off. So, but I'm glad they're backing God of War. That's one of Sony's bottom games. So they're going to be banking that. So, but a bundle would be nice. I know, see, Spider-Man comes out. I thought Spider-Man was going to hit in March. So, yeah, we do need some Knack 2 ads. I agree with that. We just need ads for games coming out this year. That's my whole thing. Show me next year in September or October. They should be showing God of War stuff in September when it gets, so they can have something to combat. To combat all the stuff that's going to be happening in the fall with the Nintendo releasing more games, the Nintendo Mini thing that's going to be out. So, so there you go, Giants. Yeah. I love college football too. I live in Lexington, so we're a college town. So I'll be going tailgating. I'm not going to tailgate as much this year as I did the last 4 years. So, the first one is always the most fun because you get to see everybody you hadn't seen in a while. And so I'm going to that one, and then I'll probably skip, and I'll just do every other. So I'm looking to do 3 this year. So Spider-Man, a May release? Possibly. I mean, I look for them. They did say they're going to release games next year like they did this year. So they release games in January, February, March, April, and I don't know about May of this year. I just know they a shit ton of games seem to be coming out for them. So, so there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, Cowboys. A friend of mine lives in Austin. He's a Cowboy fan. So God of War set Q1. So that's April then. April for Q1. So because Q4 doesn't end until like February or March. But nevertheless, my point is that it's not coming out till next year. So why am I seeing commercials for it on YouTube? You know, I mean, they ran a God of War commercial on my channel, which shocked me. And it's still weird me going to my YouTube channel and seeing a commercial. So what games am I playing right now? We're still playing Civilization on PC. As far as console games, I've been too busy coaching to light up that console, and I've been outside at the pool. So I'm playing a real-time strategy called Black Man Goes to the liquor store, buys him Mai Tais, and goes over to the pool and drinks. So yeah, it's summertime. I really don't play a ton of games in the summertime. So now she's been playing friggin' Gravity Rush, and I think she started near Amamata, which gives me the opportunity to play Neo, but I didn't know Elite Dangerous was coming out in June. I didn't think Elite was coming out until September. So I'm going to go buy Elite Dangerous next week and start playing that. You didn't miss a whole lot, Mark, seriously, but shout out to you. So Madden's on the Frostbite engine, so that's the new big deal now. Have to see how that works. Mass Effect at Montreal Comic-Con. If anybody wants to go up there and throw a boot at the stage for what they did, be my guest. So all right. So God of War's had a full development cycle. Spider-Man has had a full Days Gone. Yeah, I would expect God of War and Days Gone. And Spider-Man, look, I mean, again, the gameplay that I saw at E3, I don't have that's fine. You know, I've got no issue with it coming out. But you haven't seen any Spider-Man videos online, except for the ones they showed the gameplay as far as commercials. You have seen God of War. You know, so, and that's just to let everybody know that the Sony's big heavy hitting game, which is God of War, is coming. You know, and again, you still have, you know, The Last of Us 2 coming and Death Stranding. I think they ended with Death Stranding. So, what's up, Bear? Well, I'll send you an invite right now, brother. Let me go ahead and do that right now. There we go. I just sent it. If you're not busy, you want to jump in real quick. That's cool. Dreadnought. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what that's about. You know, it's just getting to a point. Well, look, a friend of mine that worked, you know, past tense at GameStop, he said that what Sony had planned on doing, he told me this 5 years ago, was just to flood the market with a bunch of exclusive games. And that's what they're doing. Yeah, Days Gone, Spider-Man, Death Stranding, The Last of Us 2. That shit still ain't came out yet. God of War. All right, that's still not here. You know, and we we're still getting, you know, we're getting DLC, which I understand people rag on DLC, but my God, so there's just so much going on right now with this console. So we have to wait and see. Sony is burying my wallet. Yeah, so yeah, they own me at this point. So I'm actually literally thinking about getting a part-time job just to buy games. Literally just to buy games. And picking up some extra hours. So we'll have to wait and see. So we're gonna go back and be playing those games, but I gotta get back into it because there was just so much to play and I had so much going on. So coaching baseball though, that's a first love. I was not gonna turn that down. So especially, you know, teaching little kids to do it. So because again, there are no fathers, especially in the black areas, black neighborhoods, and these kids didn't even know basically how to catch and things like that. They just didn't know how to do it. So field ground balls, shag flies, they didn't know how to do it. So, and now they know. Now they know. So, and that's great. So that's all it was about. And they don't even keep score with these baseball games, but had we kept score, we would have won 6 games and lost 6 games. But we won our last 4 games. So the kids are happy. Now they all get participation trophies, and that's the end of the season. So I should Uber on my days off. I may do that. Yeah. I don't know. Probably not. It's not that big a deal. Yeah, if Wolfenstein, yeah, I don't know about the Evil Within 2, but my God, Wolfenstein. So this is, there's a shit ton of game. Put it like this. Sony has enough on market where they're going to, where's the link? I sent it to you. But I can, you know, I'll send it again. Let's see here. Yeah, this is the same one, Bear Hugger 29 invite. Yeah, I sent it again, bro. I sent it again. So, what do I think about? Oh, I mean, that's just Michael Packner being Michael Packner, you know. So, me and Kratos have already said what we think PS5 is going to be. So, we just have to wait and see if that's what they're going to do. I do agree with them in the sense that they are going to launch it when the 4K marketplace and the all right. I didn't put the link in the script in the box here. I'm sorry, Bear. I should have said that. So my bad. I do think that them launching it when there's more 4Ks, TVs in people's homes, I think that's a good idea. That's what I would do if I was in charge of it, but I'm not. And again, the Pro gives you just enough so you can kind of see what they're going to do. You wouldn't trust anything he says. Yeah, I don't. Again, like I said, I don't. But the only thing that made sense was when he said, you know, them launching it when everything's closer to 39 to 45%. That makes sense. I mean, you gotta ask yourself what makes more sense. So, yeah, 240. I mean, come on. I mean, that's if the developers hit that. So, 4K and higher graphics. Look, they're not going to sit around and let. I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, I don't want to get caught up and be one of those podcasts where we're saying Beast is coming and all that kind of stuff. It'll be here when it gets here. As soon as there's some hard news, I will report it. If there's some soft news, I'll say, look, here are some rumors. But I've already told you that Sony does generational leaps. So the next generation of CPU is what? From after Jaguar, the next CPU is Ryzen. So that'll be probably what it is. Now, how they configure it, do they make it separate? Do they make it an SLI? I mean, I don't know. So does it make it an APU? Do they say, oh, we're going to go back to NVIDIA because that's on, you know, Sony's in a pretty good spot. They pretty much are in the same spot they were when they launched PS3. Remember, they had a shit ton of consoles out. They had a ton of games out. They were leading the industry. And then PS3 launched. Let's see if Bear's in here. No Bear yet. So, but that's my opinion, though. So, couldn't do. I agree. That's the thing, is that they're already putting games on PC. Google Plus, when someone sends you an invite via Hangout, make it him. I normally, now you on Twitter, Bear? Because I did not, when I typed in Bear Hugger 29 on Twitter, you didn't come up. So, but well, if you can, I don't know if you're following me, but I'm Craig Harris 456. If you follow me, I can send you the invite that way. That's usually what I've done with One Stop, and that's worked pretty good. So, yeah, Intel has i9, but yeah, I mean, yeah, look. If I don't know why people just, why are you stuck in consoles anyway? You do realize if you bought an Xbox One, an Xbox One S, oh, let me write that down. I thought I had, wait a minute, maybe I have followed that one. Beto Mephisto. Okay, let me write that down real fast. Let's see here. But yeah, Michael Proctor, yeah, and it's even, I don't know, people were talking about the Digital Foundry thing. You know, they had tweeted me and stuff like that. And even then, those comments in there was toxic. I mean, all they did was show some you know, some undisciplined numbers, whatever you want to call it, unoptimized numbers, and you know, people were just going nuts. I mean, even on me. I mean, people were going in on me, and it's just like, damn. I mean, all I'm doing is trying to figure out, is this going to have an issue with people that are cross-platform playing on Xbox One X and S? I mean, like I said, I'm not buying a new. I ain't doing it. All right, Bear, I'm going to send it to you here. Search. There we go. F-A-T-N-E. Aha. So there's that. So I'm going to, all right, this is going to be a direct message, Bear. There we go. Well, now it's not. All right, I'm going to have to do this the hard way. So I'm going to have to go into the main Twitter. Yeah, I'm sorry for that silence, guys. But no, I just think that people get way too caught up in that stuff. I had to take down a Jack Reacher the other day about, yesterday about 4K, like I said, about 4K textures. The bottom line is that that's what floats your boat, then go ahead and do it. All right, there he is. Flip over. Okay. Come on. So, but yeah, like I said, Digital Foundry. Now I see what people are saying, how to me, they're not toxic. I don't think they're sitting down, mock or do things, but yeah, they own some. I can see what people are saying now, that they own some crazy stuff, and it's not on them though. It's more or less on the people that are in the chat, because they're trying to use what Digital Foundry says as a they're trying to use it as as stuff, as this bullshit in the fake console war, and that's exactly what they're doing. So which is sad, because all those guys are trying to do is provide a service. All right, Bear, I'm gonna try it this way. Here we go. Let's see here. I'm gonna do it like this, like that. Let's see, copy, close. Here I am getting my basic computer skills on. All right, Bear, I'm gonna send you a direct. There we go. I just tweeted that right back to you. So there we go. But yeah, now I see why I see why some people would get upset with Digital Foundry. But they don't understand with what they're trying to do, because I mean, they compared their i7 and i5. Nobody. Yeah, Bear. Yeah, I just sent that to you, Bear. It's no big deal. So no biggie. And so yeah, and again, I'm building a PC, so I mean, to me, the Xbox X, and maybe it's me, but to me building a PC cancels out what the Xbox One X is. So, but I understand now what people are saying. So, but the problem is that people ran Digital Foundry into the ground, and then now they want to big them up. So when they put out news and people report it, they're like, oh no, you're bashing the Xbox. The system, I can't go buy an Xbox X right now. So there's Bear.
Yo,
are you there, Bear?
Yo, please tell me you can hear me this
Yeah,
time.
I can hear you, bro.
Oh, Jesus, thank Christ.
Oh, you're good, man. That's I know the feeling, man. And my computer thing is I'm still a novice at that. So I do apologize on my end. So but I'm glad you're here, bro.
Last night, first and foremost, hello everyone. Second of all, I apologize to everybody in your chat for delaying your cast a little bit. I apologize there. No, but last night for me, I had to reboot my PC, and then Google had to update, and it didn't change all my settings over with my USB device. So,
okay.
Oh, this is why I don't like PCs.
Oh yeah, they're in the chat talking about the Vega or GPU or CPU, whatever that is. I'm like, oh no, Vega, here we go again.
Oh, yeah, the i9 and stuff like that. Yeah.
But everybody, give a big shout out, a big welcome to Bear Hugger 29. I honestly, Bear Hugger, and like I said, one stop yesterday when I said this, I meant it. These two guys putting their neck out on the line, saying, "Hey, look, everybody should try to jump on." They are honestly the reasons why I went out like that day and hooked up my Blue Snowball microphone. Shout out to Blue Snowball, and that's why I'm here today. You know, so
shit, you're using a better microphone.
So Bear. Well, it was on sale. I actually walked into Best Buy and I thought it was going to be like $79, and they had it on sale for $39.
Damn.
So I know, yeah. But you know that other one, that real nice blue, the Yeti, that was $149, and that's kind of like that's the one I ultimately want to get. But somebody told me that's better on laptops than it is on PCs.
Oh.
They said that this performs better on laptops. So
you might want to delete that Twitter post just in case nobody else jumps in here, since it is public.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll do that. If they do, we'll boot them out.
Well, save you some time and effort.
Yeah, I got you.
Unless it's somebody else in your chat, then whatever, that's fine.
Yeah, nah, that's cool. Yeah, and I usually open up the chat, but how you been doing though, bro?
I've been doing really, really good. Just been playing a heck of a lot of Elite Dangerous the last week now since I've gotten it. Yeah, about a week.
Yeah.
And I'm virtually obsessed with that game for my own reasons. But yeah, no, that game is definitely it's not a masterpiece, no, because it's still technically in beta, technically, but for what they're trying to do with that game's got a long lasting legs ahead of for itself in the future wise, which is good. And not gonna say anything about NMS. I'm not gonna talk about that. So we'll move on from that.
Which version of Elite did you get? Did you get the one with the Horizons?
Yep, that's one that I have. Okay. I bought the Commander Edition that comes with all the actual Season 2 Season Pass.
Yeah.
That's the one that I decided to pick up. And I'm really, really glad that I did. Because if I would have got the vanilla version and then I wouldn't be able to like land on planets and whatever you want to call it, that kind of would have been a big I would have been pouting. Let's just say that.
Yeah, no, I'm getting it next week. I just been real busy. I've got a pro, and I just got done coaching baseball.
Oh, nice.
You want to call it that? Yeah, there's an instructional league, so I did that, and we just ended this morning. And so they do the award ceremony. Everybody gets a trophy, sort of thing. We're doing that. Yeah, we're doing that either Wednesday or Thursday. Then I'll have more time to play. But just trying to play and then having parents email you and tweet you and hey, can you pick my son up or pick my daughter up, or can she stay later? Can you do one-on-ones with her? That took my time. I mean, honestly, I was outside. I prefer to do that anyway. So, but kind of my first love is playing baseball. So yeah,
I do have a question though that I want to ask you, but also I want to ask your chat, because I know you have a couple PC legit players in your actual chat. Now, to the PC community out there, and the reason why I'm going to ask this question is because this is actually kind of something that always cracked me up when I see the the Xbox fan base get all their panties in a bunch when they end up having one of their console exclusives, which is still technically a console exclusive, but I'm not getting into that. When they have one of their exclusives go over to the PC side too, as well, that Microsoft decides to shift it over there too. You know, the Xbox fan base tends to get all up in arms, but yet when the PC game comes from the PC side of the world and gets released on consoles, you know what I mean? You don't hear a freaking peep from the PC side. Why is that? Just out of curiosity, I'm just generally curious.
Oh, yeah, for the chat? Yeah.
For you and anybody in the chat that's willing to.
Oh, well, hell, I mean, the PC, I already know, I know 3 guys playing on PC, and they just said that because a lot of the stuff that we just get on console that we think is a big deal, they've had that for years.
Right.
You know, so they just said it's just not that big a deal to them. They said it's like having in your library for 5 years, you haven't watched it in 4, and somebody coming by your house to borrow it. It's like, yeah, you know.
I wouldn't say because PC games don't matter. Nah, dude, no. PC games do matter. I mean, shit. I mean, you know, and that's another thing that also royally upsets me a lot when it comes to the console community in general. When they sit there and say that, you know, PC games don't matter, but yet PC gaming has been around for like God only knows how long, and also has had like more exclusives than consoles had over the last God only knows how long. But I don't know. To me, it's funny because now they use that whole entire formal excuse. Now, again, people, don't be upset with me. I'm just stating my opinion on this. A lot of people tend to feel that, oh, well, they don't get those AAA experiences. But again, like, what makes a AAA game? Because if the developer doesn't come out and tell you how much they're spending on that game, we don't know if that game's AAA or not. We don't know. But I've seen people go based on price, and that is a big no-no. Because if you go based on price, and you tell me that Dynasty Wars is a AAA game, and that's priced at the same price to say what Horizon Zero Dawn is, the hell out of here.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me tell you there. Here's what I've learned, and I did like a lesson a few months ago, not condescending. They truly have grown up. Most of the people in the chat that are my subs, they're young. I mean, there's a few guys in their late 30s, early 40s, but they don't understand that we were playing games online back before there was an internet. I mean, there was we had landline parties. And I remember did you ever play Descent? Did you ever play that game? We had Descent. Descent. It was just simulator. That we had Forsaken, we had X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. I mean, these are games, and I told them that Ghost Recon.
Well, keep that in mind. Like Forsaken was on N64, PS1, and same with like Descent was on PS1 as well. So
yeah. So yeah, I just I've never, Dion78 said he's old. Yeah, I'm not saying that you guys aren't, but my point is that like Rainbow Six was the first version of Tom Clancy's stuff. That was the first game. That was on PC. Now, it did eventually go to PlayStation 1, but after a while, you know.
Yeah. But another thing is, too, is like, even though, like, see, here's another thing, too, as well. When it comes to like when console ports get poured over to PC, that's never been in PC's favor at all. If you go all the way back to like even during the NES generation, back when like DOS got freaking Castlevania and whatnot, go play Castlevania on NES and then play it on DOS. You'll want to rip your goddamn eyes out. But I'm just gonna say it right now for the record. PC games have never been that very port friendly per se, unless they know what the heck they're doing. I mean, I'm not saying every game has been, but I'm saying there's a lot out there that has been. But like when games like System Shock's coming to console soon, right? Like that reboot one that came out on PC a while back. That was a huge game for its time when that game came out in the early 90s. Or the late 90s. That game was huge. But yet when that game comes on console, man, crickets. That's all you got to hear.
Well, yesterday, and when you were in the chat and you put that A prompt in there,
right?
They didn't know what you were talking about. I mean, they did.
The hard discs, the hard discs that we all called floppies, but they weren't technically floppies because they didn't flop around like Commodore 64 floppy disk was.
Yeah. I remember those. I still have some floppies. I took them to a middle school to kind of show them where computers were versus how they have everything in their hand now, literally at the palm of their hand. And I'm like, here's a floppy disk, and I passed it around. They couldn't believe it.
No,
they were just like, they couldn't. Then that went to the hard. Was it a 3.5 or 3.25 hard disk or something like that?
3.5, 3.5.
Yeah, then when you put that command in, the execute command, I about died. I'm like, oh my God, I've not seen that in probably 25 years.
but just in general though, I'm glad that there are games that are now coming from the PC side of the world, like Pillars of Eternity. When that beast drops at the end of August, man, I was so excited to see that they finally bringing that game over, because I want games that have more complexity behind it, which is why I love Elite Dangerous. That game is not user freaking friendly. I'm sorry, it is not user friendly. Most people that are going to go into that game expecting it to like hold their hand and give them every information right from the get-go, you're sadly mistaken. It's like when games came out, like Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition, that game was phenomenal. Pillars of Eternity is going to be phenomenal. Or there's a lot of other games that have been coming out recently that PC's had for a while. Like Thea the Awakening, I recently got that there last month. That game is amazing because it's like a fantasy civilization, and I love games like Civilization, bro. That's like my go-to kind of genre right there. But as a whole, it doesn't matter how old the game is. It doesn't matter if there's a cult following behind these games or not. That's not the point that I'm trying to make. The point that I'm trying to make is that you don't see the PC side, get all up in arms when they end up taking a game that they've had for years and years and years, and then goes to console. Like, remember when Half-Life 2 was always a console exclusive, and they came out with the orange box on the actual 360 and the PS3? PC people did not give a rat's ass. They didn't care.
Yeah, I remember that, and people on the console thought, "Oh, this is the greatest thing ever." Yeah, you're right, bro.
But anyways,
you're right.
Pushing that aside. So E3 this year was
yeah, I agree.
Not that it was like horrible for me, because for people that do know me very well, and then Greg, you know me very, very well.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that I saw from all sides of the spectrum that I would play, right? But but when it comes to like Sony, all there was pretty much basically a remaster of last year's E3 conference with a few notable exceptions. That's the reason why I was let down by that. I wasn't let down by the games they showed people. I was let down that they didn't really have anything like to really blow me out of the water. Like if you go back and you watch last year's E3 was freaking amazing for them. This year, not so much. Yeah, okay, I'm aware of PSX, whatever. But the PC conference wasn't that bad. It was bad, and I covered it. I did an entire live stream on it. That was like an hour and 45 minutes too long. Not for me.
Well, my thing with Sony was that, and I had said this leading up. I said Sony's issue won't be E3. It's that PSX was so jaw-dropping with game after game after game, and it was like an E3 itself. I said their E3 may be really good, and because of PSX, everybody's going to be let down.
Right? Yeah.
And that's bad. I agree with you. We're not saying it was bad, and a lot of people don't realize that Sony's E3 started on television at 8 o'clock. They showed Ni no Kuni 2. They showed more Gran Turismo. They showed some Uncharted stuff. So they started their E3, and then they moved into the auditorium. But I just think they're victims of PSX. I mean, I agree with you, but there was nothing that was kind of jaw-dropping. Like, oh, we knew that was coming. So Spider-Man, the games they showed, Detroit, I was happy to see Detroit become human gameplay. I was happy to see that. I was happy to see, that surprised me. I'm excited about that game. So, but I love it. I was excited to see the separate press conferences. EA's was terrible, but Need for Speed looks like something. Looks like something I'd buy.
Yeah. EA was that was so bad. Like having that YouTuber that does his pranks there on his ex-girlfriend there, dude. Really? Why would like that? First of all, that guy looks like a dumbass. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'm not gonna mention his name, but first of all, putting him up there to promote the new Need for Speed, or AKA as what I like to call it, Fast and the Furious, freaking whatever you want to call it, because that's exactly what it looks like to me. No, what? No. Battlefront 2 looks promising. They're fixing all the actual issues that the first game had. But that's all they showed that was actually, well, no. That other, that cooperative game there, that indie title that they're actually making there, I forget what the heck it was called. That game looks really good. The one where you escape prison and stuff like that.
Star Wars. What about that girl that came out to announce the Star Wars?
She's fine as hell.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That was a highlight. That was definitely a highlight for sure. But disregarding that, though, I mean, look, even Microsoft's conference, man. Yeah, they didn't have any huge first-party title that they showed off, right? Fine. Yeah. I agree with everybody on that. That was a letdown. But what they did show, and this was a huge thing that everybody complained about Microsoft last year, they didn't show variety. They didn't show any variety at all. Now they do, and they still get slammed for it.
Well, here was the thing. I love the fact that they show variety. Because I said that's one of the things people have been ripping on them for 20 months.
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
But my issue with them was that for them to have new hardware coming out in the next 4 or 5 months, they didn't show enough of their own stuff. They showed stuff that if you have an Xbox One S like I do, I can already play those games. Now, granted, okay, the grass won't look as green, the smoke won't look as good on Forza. If we're driving around the track and you got the new Xbox, or One Stop has the new Xbox, shout out to him. The scratch on his car is going to look a little bit better than the scratch on my car. I mean, it's just, and I can get those games on PS4. You know, you had the developer, the lead developer, not some flunky that answers the phone at Ubisoft, say, hey, look, Assassin's Creed is going to have the same build on the Xbox X and the Pro. It will be indiscernible. That's a direct comment. So, but when I say that, I get called King Pony, and Halo Storm's over there going crazy saying, I don't understand what I'm looking at. I'm like, bro, here's what, that's like you take your car to the shop and the mechanic says, you need new shocks. And then you like, all right, and then getting mad when you buy new shocks. Like, dude, there's going to be no difference. You know, so not that there won't be difference in other games, because there's been other developers that said, yes, we will be able to do some things here that we can't do on the other systems. Fine. But when you get kicked in your balls with Destiny, you do 2 weeks of damage control videos trying to explain to people how wrong you were for the last year. You know, that they're not 4K 60, you know, so I just,
I love your chat,
I enjoyed Microsoft's conference. I love
your freaking chat, yo. When you brought up that chick there from the Star Wars thing, dude, you got people freaking triggered in the chat, dude. It was hilarious.
That girl was fine. I mean,
she was fine. Yeah, she was sexy as hell, dude. Sasha Banks.
I didn't realize she was the character. Yeah, she was the character on the game. I'm thinking, man, she was.
So it makes sense for her to be there to promote it. You know what I mean? Yes. She's in the game, for God's sakes. But I mean, as a whole, EA's conference was garbage. This year, hands down, I think the best conference that I've seen so far was Ubisoft. Ubisoft nailed it this year.
Yeah.
They had a damn good freaking E3 this year. My God, dude. Yeah. Oh, and for the record, because I've seen a lot of people moan and cry about this, about, you know, Beyond Good and Evil 2 not being an actual sequel. It's not a sequel, it's a prequel. It's a freaking prequel.
Yeah.
They already stated that, even on stage.
Yeah.
It's like,
and they get mad.
Bro, man, come on, man.
There's enough. To me, there's enough out there for every. You know, Nintendo had they announced Metroid, and I'm just waiting on Donkey Kong. If they say here's Donkey Kong, I'm gone. I'm getting it. It's over for me. I will knock a kid down and his mom and his
football style.
Yeah, Flintstone style is what I'll do. But they got to. I mean, for me to get me into that ecosystem, I need a Donkey Kong game. But I'm on. So I'm not. I've told people I'm not dissing the system. There's just not the game I would love to play is not there yet. So, and I'm sure we'll get that announcement pretty soon. Oh, you know, so yeah, I think Microsoft. Yeah, somebody saying Sasha Banks looked better. I got no problem with that girl. As a Star Wars fan, the thing that stood out in that trailer, I'm talking about the trailer for the campaign, you clearly hear them say, hope will not save them. So this is going to be the remnants of the Empire before it becomes the First Order, just on an all-out annihilation mission against the rebellion after they destroy that. So I'm interested in that story as a Star Wars fan. So,
but I mean,
looking at hers,
it was funny because when I was watching my Twitter feed, after the Sony press conference, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Sony, they won again. They won again." I'm like, "What the fuck did they win again this year?" They remastered their last year's conference. There was more stuff that I saw during the pre and the post show that should have been on the stage floor. Why was that Gundam game not being shown on the actual E3 stage? People have been wanting a Gundam game now for a long time, but no, they decide to keep that out, but yet show you more gameplay trailers for what do you call it? Days Gone, which is fine. Days Gone looks decent, but that's going to be a bargain bin for me because I'm not buying myself another fucking zombie post-apocalyptic world game again. Screw that. Yeah. I was recursing. God of War looks good. God of War looks very, very good. And I love this new direction because I do not like the original God of Wars. Sue me, Sony fans.
I'm with
Monster Hunter Worlds game looks good. I will say that. Detroit definitely looks amazing. But again, like I said, there wasn't Spider-Man looks promising too as well. Spider-Man does look pretty good. Insomniac looks like they're doing a damn good job from what I'm seeing there. But as a whole, at least with Ubisoft, a lot of the stuff they showed off during their conference, man, was fucking new. A lot more exciting things, man, that they showed off during that conference. I'm not saying that the games that Sony showed up are bad. No, I'm saying as a presentation wise, they had more stuff that I wouldn't mind seeing that they had from pre and post that should have been in their freaking conference. But like, nah.
Yeah, and they've admitted that they pulled stuff out. And I tell you why they did it. It's like somebody said somebody told me they have a EAA meeting and an EAB thing planned. They went with the B because when Microsoft got done, they did not feel any heat at all. Like out there, they were like, nobody's really talking about the console because they showed a bunch of multi-platform. Granted, Ori and the Blind Forest, day one buy for me. Cuphead, day one buy. Forza,
Cuphead's gonna be amazing,
yeah, Forza, maybe. I'm going to buy Cuphead because those two guys, made by two guys who mortgaged their house, to build the game. Microsoft gave them some money, but not enough to finish the game. So, and they're loyal to Microsoft. They were like, hey, it ain't never going to come out on PS4. So that's fine. I don't care about that, but I'll go support that game. But, again,
of course.
For me, and I said this about the Microsoft, and, I agree with you. They're just, considering they got new hardware coming in 5 months, there wasn't enough there. Yes, Forza looks amazing. Arguably the best looking racing game in the history of racing. I'm talking about you can go back to the arcade. The games don't look that good.
That's a big ass bold statement to make, especially when GT Sports is coming out this year. I think it's coming out this year.
I agree. And GT Sports gonna do fine as well. But as far as I don't think GT Sports looks as good. But with that said, that's not taking nothing away from GT Sport because it's GT Sport. I mean, it's a worldwide racer. It's the premier game.
I do agree with what's said, but at the same time, I understand why they didn't. Because Phil Spencer came out months before E3 and said that Halo and Gears were not going to be shown this year at E3.
Yes.
They've already let everybody know a few months in advance to let everybody know about that. And this was the first time since the Xbox One where they didn't show anything Gears or Halo related. So congrats to Microsoft on keeping their promise on that end.
Yeah, and they're going to drop a Gears remaster in 4K, and they're going to drop a Halo. All 5, or Halo 5 at least, announced day before yesterday, is getting the enhanced treatment. So I just think what happened, because I had to take down some Jack Reachers, they really thought, they didn't understand when Microsoft meant true 4K. They mean dynamic, they mean checkerboard and native. So I had to go in on a few people, not on a negative tip, but say, look, here's the website, here's what Microsoft said, you can check this out yourself. People should be excited about new hardware, but I know you don't get into what the game looks like versus you rather have great gameplay, so
Well, me personally, I mean, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I don't give two rats shits for the PS Pro or the Xbox One X. I don't care about 4K gaming. I don't give a rat's ass about that. But as an option there for people that want it, knock yourself out.
Yeah, I agree. Now somebody's saying the only two games that are checkerboard 4K Origins and Anthem. Well, also Assassin's Creed was dynamic 4K. I mean, it's not bad. Look, I'm not here saying that for them doing that is bad. You all really got to understand.
Uh-oh.
So I don't care that it's checkerboarded or not. And Anthem's not coming out for 2 goddamn years. So y'all got to drop that. There's going to be kids not born yet walking by the time that game hits the shelf. So, it's they're silly. Yeah, Destiny 2 is going to be checkerboarded. Battlefront. Well, I don't know about Battle. Have you heard anything about Battlefront?
Nope.
Bear, as far as I haven't either. So now I've told people D23 is in Anaheim. So there will be a big information drop then that for all Star Wars stuff. So even the game. And so, do I know what it is? I was told because somebody went to Star Wars Celebration. They talked to the EA guys what it was going to be. But since I can't confirm that, I'm not going to go with it. Let's just say, hypothetically, it may not be in the Xbox X's Destiny 4K native 60. But I'm just going to leave it there. Let's just say I'm just going to leave it there. So, because I'm trying to stay out the crumb side there.
I'm not impressed. I said I'm not impressed with Destiny 2 at all, man. Like when they showed that gameplay reveal, and I was like, oh, same exact interface. Yeah. What is this, like DLC, but just now Destiny 2? I'm going to charge you $60 US or $80 Canadian, which is what I'm going to have to pay for.
Yeah,
that, man, I'm not buying that. Not anytime soon. I'll get it down the road, but I'm going to be on the fence with this one, just like I wasn't the first one, and I'm glad that I was. Yeah, and me too. And I drank that Kool-Aid. I was out there at midnight. I still got the original Destiny. Drink that Kool-Aid.
And I agree, but it's a September release, and in August we got Hellblade, you got Madden, and you've got like I was saying earlier, you got you got Madden, you got Hellblade, and you got the DLC to Uncharted. So that's a pretty big hit on the wallet.
Yeah, I always forget about Lost Legacy, man. It's like, God damn, really?
Yep. 22nd. So that's the 22nd, and Madden is the 25th, and Hellblade is the 8th. So that's
Lawbreakers also comes out on the 8th too as well. See, right now for me, Hellblade and Lawbreakers is the next 2 games that I'm buying. Everything else after that, I'm waiting to go down in price. Because games over here in Canada are expensive, people, man. That's the reason why I'm waiting.
Yeah, well, let me ask you, when you saw when Lawbreakers was announced, that Cliffy B, comes out, he announces it, and he got attacked by the Xbox community. What is your opinion outside looking in?
He talked about that. Well, the thing is, a lot of people don't like Cliffy B, especially from the Xbox side. It's like, we made you, blah, blah, blah. What? No. It's like people think that he only came around because of Gears. Did anybody not ever play Jackrabbit? Ignore that question. But anyways, the thing of it is, man, is that he came out on numerous occasions, not only on Twitter but during E3, and stated that if they feel like putting it on the Xbox, if there's a demand for it, he'll put it on the Xbox. It's just that simple. It's a business structure. He's a small company, people, man. So he goes, you put it on the PS4 because of the aspect that there's more people there that own that console right now. So it makes sense, but he's not going to effectively sit there and say, you know what, F you Xbox fans, we don't want nothing to do with you. No, he never once said that. All he said was that if they want to put it on there, they'll put it on there down the road. It's that simple.
I agree with you. I just thought, now didn't he help with the Quake engine?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Because I thought that's kind of, somebody says Jackrabbit, the DOS game. Yeah, Bear's old school. Like, that stuff Bear had it, and we did in the comment section yesterday when I put the basic A and Bear put the DOS commands in. That was like the Sumerian language for gaming for you guys. It's how old we are.
Or if you've ever used Windows 3.1, you'll know what's up.
Yeah, you know what's up. So, so let me. What did somebody say in the chat? Is anything coming out? Was it October? Somebody's mad about Darth Maul. So,
who's mad about Darth
somebody
Maul?
said. Yeah, I guess they gave him metal legs in the comic book.
Well, isn't that the Clone Wars TV? I don't freaking know, man. I'm not big enough Star Wars nerdy to understand all that BS.
Well, Talioso saying that Cliffy, he said, fuck Cliffy, he lied. Okay, lied about what? I just don't understand that.
No, he said that he said his quote, he says Lawbreakers is too fast paced to be put on consoles, but it would probably suck. At first, no, he's right. He did say that a long time ago, back when the game was originally announced, when he got asked a question about putting it on consoles. But then after a while, because I remember seeing the tweet on Twitter from him, because I follow him on Twitter. And because I love it when he roasts people that try to freaking go after him and stuff. He's hilarious. So I remember seeing him on Twitter saying that freaking that he takes back that statement that he said because he managed to get it working very, very good on consoles. And that is a fast-paced game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those are my types of competitive shooter games. So yeah, your mod is definitely not lying about that. He did say that before. So he kind of retracted his statement. So technically it wasn't a lie, but technically he just him eating his own crow, in other words.
Okay. Well, that's fine. I tell people, like, they can make statements in the comment section, but I said, don't be shocked if I ask you to explain what you're talking about. I may let it go too, but it's like that old saying about the KGB. If you sneak past the KGB, they may just kind of bat their eye, but you don't want to wake them up, you know? So yeah, it's no, I didn't plan on buying. I didn't know. I thought Lawbreakers was a October game, but damn, that's August.
No, it's August. The same day as Hellblade. The same day as Hellblade. But thank God both games are only, 40 in Canada. So 30 for you guys, but 40 for me. Gotta love being Canadian. Bullshit.
And also, just to twist that knife a little bit, PlayStation exclusives, guys. Both Hellblade and Lawbreaker. I know. Lawbreaker is on PC.
Console exclusives.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No. The only reason why I want to verify that because I've gotten in so much hell after E3 because I came out and I started, like not blindly defending Microsoft, but I came out and I started telling people it's like, look, if I don't have a PC that can run these games, I can just play on a console. It's that simple. It's like, yeah, but you can just upgrade your PC. But I don't have the luxury to afford that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, let alone putting that aside. And I said this before too as well. There's gamers out there that don't give a rat's ass for PC gaming. They don't care. Yeah. So there's obviously
the main reason
again, just real quick. Yeah. The number's already proven. No, go ahead. Numbers already freaking proven. I know VG chart is not a full-on accurate number, but it gives you a slight depiction of what you're looking at. Go on there and look at all the games that Microsoft has had on their console that's also on PC and look at the numbers. A PC was so damn, if the Xbox One was so damn irrelevant, right, compared to a PC, that why does Gears Ultimate Edition or Gears of War 4 have almost close to freaking 4 million sitting under its belt? No, I think the Ultimate Edition. There's almost 3 million for Gears of War 4. There's almost 3 million right now for freaking Forza Horizon 3. So if the Xbox One was so irrelevant that nobody should buy these games on those consoles when they're also on PC, then why the fuck did those games sell as well as they did?
Yeah. Yeah, they just shout out to BG. He just tweeted out that apparently Crash Bandicoot it was the biggest selling game of everything last month. It outsold everything.
Garuda, when the hell did I say anything about games being held back by consoles? I never once stated that.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. Well, the thing is that they the chat is the chat. You gotta love them. Like I said, they're like little. I love my chat. I try to inform them. So,
your chat's awesome. Your chat is awesome.
Yeah. How many PC gamers are playing in 4K? I'll wait. That's when Wolf.
That's actually a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, great point. Because most are at what 1440p. Most is where they're at. So, and that's where I'll be. I'm building a PC, but it'll do 4K allegedly. But I'll probably scale down to 1440p to play Star Citizen. Of course, if they don't get sued by everybody that's giving them money.
That game's been in development for how long?
Yeah, I don't know. They asked for what, $5 million, and they got over $100 million, and they still haven't dropped their
right.
And they just put out another beta, didn't they? 3.0. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Get this shit out. You know?
It's like, honestly, it's like those developers go on vacation for like 6 months and they come back and do a small update. 6 months, come back doing a small update.
Yeah. Well, somebody gave me $100 million, and I only needed maybe at the most 15.
Is that seriously how much that game got on Kickstarter? Was 100 million?
Yeah, they asked for 5 or 6, but they got over 100 million.
Jesus Christ.
That looks fantastic.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah.
So, but man, they got to get it out, because if they don't, there's people talking about like a class action suit against them. So
yeah, I remember seeing,
a lot
of that. I remember seeing a lot of hate towards, like, there's a lot of salty people about that game. But to be honest, I don't blame them. I mean, especially if that game has over 100 million under its belt that it got funded from Kickstarter, dude. It's like, yeah, update, hello. It's like, yeah, Jesus.
I agree. Hey, let me ask you, because I saw you streaming Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh boy, here we go.
I'm a big Mass Effect fan, so I'm not here to hit up on, hit you with a slapjack. What is your honest opinion about it? Because one of the let me give a shout out to a Mass Effect podcast, Andromeda Nerds. They officially called it quits today. Today was their last podcast of Mass Effect. They're not doing them anymore. They're still going to do podcasts, but they are not going to do Andromeda anymore. And again, that's not a dig on them. That's a shout out to them, because those are some of the people I follow. But what is your honest opinion on how the game got received? And do you feel, at the end of the day, do you feel that they gimped this game, they being EA, for Anthem? Because that's what a lot of people in the Mass Effect community feel. Go ahead and take off on that one.
Okay, so first and foremost, whatever I'm about to state that comes out of my mouth is nothing more than my own opinion. So this is not factual at all, period. I rather enjoyed the game quite a bit, actually. And that's not because of my fanboy side for for Mass Effects. If that be the case, I would have loved Resident Evil 7, but I don't, because I think Resident Evil 7 looks like shit. But anyways, the thing is, when it comes to Andromeda, right? I don't care how the models looked. That didn't bother me. Yeah, it was an issue for a lot of people out there. Of course it was, obviously, because that shit went viral. But for me personally, did not give a rat's ass. Me personally, though, is that it could have been a hell of a lot better game, for sure. It could have been well more polished. It could have definitely had a lot more things to do in the game outside after you beat it, whatever the case may be. But as a whole, the direction that they were going with this game, as far as like the new style of Mass Effect, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And the reason why I'm saying that it's absolutely fantastic is because this new direction was definitely needed. And plus, on top of that, another thing that really drove me insane is with so many people trying to compare it to the trilogy, which in a way, sure, that makes sense, right? Because, you're coming off the success of the original trilogy, so you want this game to live up to and exceed expectations. The problem is that I'm kind of glad that it didn't. And the reason for that is because I didn't want to I don't compare Ryder to Shepard. Shepard, she's her own beast, or he's her own beast, whatever gender that you played. Yeah. That character is has its own merits, has its own logical thinking, its own personality, right? Let that character be who that character is. Ryder, however, though, entirely different person. Some people say that she's witty. Some people say that she's freaking mentally challenged. I don't know. I've heard a lot of fucked up shit. But the thing of it is, though, is that I like the fact that the way Andromeda went, it was entirely different. New characters, new protagonists, new antagonists, that kind of stuff like that. But that's the main reason why I like this so much, is that I like the fact that they did not try to make Ryder be exactly like Shepard. I didn't want that to be there. Shepard's fine the way her attitude is. She's got combat military experience. You know what I mean? She's a badass and all that kind of stuff. But that Ryder, on the other hand, she's young, or he's young, depending on what gender you're playing. But as a whole, for me, is that it brought more personality from a different perspective to that character. And that's the reason why I don't mind that character. You know what I mean? But as you keep playing, the more you get involved, and the more you get to the storyline, whatever you want to call it, she evolves to more of a better, more understanding character of what her main goal is as a Pathfinder, to follow in her father's footsteps, that kind of shit. The only problem that I will say that I have with the game as a whole was that the game was pretty much basically freaking had a lot of broken side quests, which pissed me off. So I was never able to get 100% in that game. But as a whole, though, I mean, it was okay. You know what I mean? I don't want to sit there and say that it was terrible. I mean, most people would argue the fact that it was terrible, but for me, it wasn't. It was good. I enjoyed it. I like this new direction. I like the fact that Mass Effect trilogy can stand on its own merits and be labeled as, you know, one of the greatest trilogies ever. You know what I mean? Well, unless you're not a fan of the third game, that's entirely debatable. But as far as Andromeda goes as a whole, I liked it because it didn't try to play to the strengths of Mass Effect, the original trilogy. It kind of do something in its own merits and try to be different. And I'm glad that it was different. Because I'm tired of like when a sequel comes out or a new spin-off series comes out for that said game, it plays exactly like the originals. And it's like, there's no, you know what I mean? At least this one here, it had open world, well, linear open world, if that makes sense. And okay story, but you have to, oh yeah, that's the one flaw. If you want to get a better understanding of the whole entire story and what the hell's going on in Andromeda, you had to freaking do all the side quests. And that's something that I kind of don't like when games do that, when you have to go and do all the side missions in order to fully freaking understand the story of the game. But I mean, it is what it is. But me personally as a whole, I don't hate the game. I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was. It just sucks that the game came out the way that it did. But I do agree, going back to what you originally stated, though, about, you know, the whole entire aspect of Anthem. Yeah. When I saw Anthem during Microsoft's conference, I was like, this is what Andromeda should have been. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just hope that because I still am active within the Mass Effect community, and there are a lot of hurt feelings because of this game.
Yeah, no, there is. There's
and
lots.
Bruised egos. Let's just call it bruised egos. And they're not going to buy Anthem. They're not going to shit on it. Okay, they're not. But they say they're not buying it. And they say the only way to teach BioWare a lesson is to not support them, and then quote unquote make them go back and remaster in 1080p or. Okay,
so just super quick on what you're saying about that. I never really understood that narrative to punish the developers when an entirely different team is making this game. I mean, because I think was it like BioWare Montreal that's making Anthem, right? And it was BioWare Edmonton that made Andromeda. Two different teams, two different BioWare teams, right? Why should I punish freaking BioWare for blatantly going on and saying, you know what, fuck Anthem, I'm not going to spend my money again. I'm sorry about our first one.
You're good. It's Saturday.
Oh, fair enough. If it was Sunday, that would be different. But I mean, why should I sit there and say, you know what, fuck Anthem, I want to punish freaking EA and BioWare because they screwed up a game that was part of a trilogy that came out last generation and ruined the newest one that came out with Andromeda. It's two entirely. Now, if it would have came out from the same team, like if BioWare Edmonton would have said, you know what, they put half-ass Andromeda, but to make Anthem, then yeah, that makes more sense. But when you got two different BioWare sides of the spectrum coming into play, Montreal and Edmonton, I'm not going to punish them for that. I mean, I'm not buying Anthem day one because Canadian prices, but what I'm saying though, I never quite understood that. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand that analogy at all. Maybe it's because I'm not looking too much into it because I think it's just, to me, it's a little bit dumb to do that. But again, look how many times we sit there and we always hear people do that. Oh, I'm not buying the next Capcom game, or I'm not buying the next EA game, or I'm not buying the next Call of Duty game. But as soon as that game comes out, they're in line waiting for it. It all stems back to, you guys remember when Left 4 Dead 2 was coming out and all the PC people on Steam were sitting there saying, I'm boycotting this game. I'm boycotting this game. And the game came out, those same motherfuckers were in line and they bought that shit day one.
Yeah, they bought it. So, yeah, I remember that shit. Yeah. Nah, they've, man, see, my whole thing is that the thing I didn't like about Andromeda was it was more technical. Like, okay, why you're going to a different galaxy, you meet different aliens. Why do they have pretty much the same tech that you got? I mean, it works the same. It's just, to me, they could have done a little bit better on that. But I agree with you as far as letting Ryder kind of write, you do your own thing. I agree with that. They did make a good point of saying, hey, we're not combat soldiers, we're explorers, So
she has more of a quirky attitude. You know what I mean? Like, she's not bright, but I mean, she's young. You know what I mean? She's like, I think she's like 10 years younger than freaking Shepard was in the trilogy, man. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just think the way they set the trilogy up, I don't know if you remember Mass Effect 3, but they set it up. Casey Hudson set that up where James Vega would be the avatar for Mass Effect 4. Now, of course, this is before he left BioWare on bad terms.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. But that's what, if this to me, the best thing I can get out of the people that are still, that are willing to talk to you about it in the forums, the Mass Effect forums and stuff like that, is that they wanted Mass Effect 4. They just wanted something maybe 5 years after the Reaper War. They said you could have still done the exploration because you could have been just going around trying to salvage stuff and put things back together, still had a few things. And then somebody wrote me and said, how about the Hellstorm where Tally and them were from, where that sun was going supernova? This person said, how about that turning into a black hole and then connecting to Andromeda? Because Andromeda had that big black hole in it. Yeah, originally that was supposed to go supernova, and it was supposed to be a black hole that led to Andromeda. And ultimately, the next Mass Effect games were going to be you getting a ship together, getting a crew together to go into Andromeda. But they scrapped it. They scrapped it. So, it doesn't matter. We got what we got.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was okay. I love the sex scene on there with Peebee. I was like, hey.
For that was the one that really weirds me out the most though, man, was Jaw's fucking sex scene with female writer. Oh. That one was pretty fucking cringeworthy, man. Like it felt like I was watching softcore porn, like the developer stated, man. It's like you're watching softcore porn. He hit it on the fucking head. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Exactly what it was. Yeah. If that scene went on any longer, man, there would have been some freaking down there action, man. I would have been like, what? Oh, all right, cool, man. I like where this is going. But either way, real quick, I want to say thank you to some of your chat, Corey, for letting me know I was not aware of this. Like Kotaku already exposed that the Edmonton team was pulling developers from Montreal to work on Anthem. That I was not aware of. But now that he told me that, I kind of changed my stance on what I was talking about now, because that to me is bullshit.
I didn't know that either.
I was not aware of that, man. I was not aware of that. So I take back what I said earlier, guys. I apologize for that. I was not aware of that.
Now, see, I know the Mass Effect team in Edmonton, they did all the DLC. So, the Citadel DLC, the Take Back Omega. This is if you bought this stuff. And I said last week in a podcast, because I got people saying that I'm King Pony, and I'm like, I endorse Mass Effect on the Xbox.
How the fuck are you King Pony?
I go to in the multi-plat podcast with shout out to Next Gen 720 and have a good time with those guys. And it's fun, getting them. They are constantly saying things. Well, games are going to look and run better on the X. I said, based on what? Who has told you that? I've not seen one developer come out and say, yeah, definitely looks good on this. And they keep saying it's got this, it does 4K textures. I said, okay, what developer has come out and said they're going to use 4K textures besides the first party guys, with Forza and stuff like that? Oh, well, you don't understand. It's got all this power. Okay. All right. So.
Well, that's another thing. Because I recently picked up Knack finally, right? It was on sale for like $9, so I snagged it.
Yeah.
What is the hate with that game? I was enjoying the fuck out of that game when I was streaming it, man, the other day.
Yeah.
I don't know why that game gets so much hate, man. Yeah, it's hard, but it reminds me of like an old school platformer, like hard challenge. You know what I mean? That a lot of platformers are missing in modern games nowadays. And that's another thing I can't stand. I hate how easy games are nowadays. Oh, it drives me insane. It drives me mad because it's like, dude, where's the complexity in these games? There's nothing there. It's so easy to pick up and play like legitimately almost every game. But I mean, look, it makes sense from a business standpoint in order to not blatantly copy what other people are doing. Because they tried doing that with Call of Duty last generation and ultimately backfired. I mean, look how many FPS games that came out last gen. Fucking tons of them.
Yeah,
but nowadays, I mean, like I'm playing NAC and I'm like, yo, where's all the hate? Why is this game getting so much hate? I can't see it. I don't see it here. You know, well, and I guess that's why I love being the gamer who I am, because I'll play anything and everything. I don't give a fuck. If it's there, I'll play it. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I mean,
shit. What I appreciate about, we need more people like you to just play a bunch of stuff, you know, versus coming. I've always said to people, look, if you just want to come home, put on a headset and shoot the arbiter in his face, that's not what gaming is. With that said, I agree with One Stop. One Stop, man, he made a good analogy. He said, look, Microsoft planted these kids in the ground. They watered them. They groomed them, and now all they think everything is Halo.
But that doesn't make any sense, though. How did Microsoft? What?
Yeah.
What?
All right, think about it. Microsoft system, the original Xbox, the black box that everybody, you know, most people do like, you know, arguably one of the better consoles in the last 30 years. That console came of age the same time the internet really was starting to budge out, and one of the first things they were able to corner, literally, I mean, shout out to Microsoft, is online console gaming, not online gaming, because we were doing that on PC, but online console gaming. They got groomed by Microsoft. They literally got groomed. I mean, you remember Halo 2?
Microsoft's fault, though.
No, it's not their fault. It's just they groomed a group of people. All they like is Gears, Halo, and online shooters. That's all they want to play.
Okay, that I can understand, but that all boils down to the person's preference, though. Like I mean, Sony never fucked up last generation with their overly ridiculous George Foreman price grill console before the Slim came out.
Oh yeah,
with the PS3, we all remember that.
Yeah,
they could have had the exact same narrative behind their belt too, as well, and people would have been like, "Oh, it's Sony's fault for making the way games are going nowadays." What?
No. Well, no. I mean, I personally think they did breed a certain type of gamer that, like you said, this was the first E3 where we didn't have a Gears, Halo, or Forza.
And it did piss off a lot of people in that community, so I guess in a way that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But again, but at the same time, like I can't really blame Microsoft for doing that, because if gamers prefer like Halo and Gears, whatever you want to call it, that's them. You know, if they don't want to step outside their safety bubble, is what I like to call it, then how can we point fingers at Microsoft for Microsoft? What? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, yeah, well, no, I'm not saying it's not a blame on Microsoft. It's just Microsoft was able to introduce this first. So if all you were in was that ecosystem, that's all you really know. Versus offline gaming experiences like a Horizon Zero Dawn or Metal Gear. I mean, if your first gaming system was an Xbox, and when you first got online exposure through Xbox Live, you missed out on.
But you know what the funny thing is, that you bring up a good point, but at the same time, people need to understand is Garuda, I don't hate the freaking PC game. Where the hell did that come from, Garuda? Damn it, Garuda should buy hole. But anyways, bastard. But no, if you go back and you look at the OG Xbox, right, the vanilla Xbox, and or as people would call it, the Xbox One. I don't know. But anyways, go back and look at the original Xbox, right? When Xbox Live came out for that system, right? I mean, yeah, it didn't sell well at all, period, but it did well enough for people to kind of get that exposure already there. But look at the games that were played online outside from Halo 2 and shit like that, and Halo 1. You had you had Rainbow Six on there. You had there's a bunch of other games too as well that came out for that system that were online, that were more advanced online games to play compared to what the hell we're playing today. Like if you take Rainbow Six, right? If you take the Rainbow Six game that was on the OG Xbox and put that up against, say, freaking like early on when the generation started, last gen, with like Advanced Warfighter, Rainbow Six, Vegas, whatever you want to call it, you know, that kind of stuff like that. Those games were way more advanced compared to freaking Siege and shit that we're playing now.
You know what's missing? You know what you see and I see? There's no tactical base shooter. None. Well, I guess Rainbow Six Siege would be that tactical based.
Yeah, but it's very, very dumbed down, though. It's very dumbed down.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. With Rainbow Six, the first Rainbow Six Vegas, you would get, I remember you would have to go and clear rooms. You know,
you have to. You had to, yeah.
Two different teams and stuff like that. And you don't, that's even missing from the oh man, Wildlands. I thought Wildlands would be like that, but it's not. You know, so
Wildlands was fucking terrible. I'm sorry, that's not Ghost Recon. That's not Ghost Recon.
Yeah,
like no. Okay, Ubisoft. Listen to me if you ever watch this podcast. Listen to me well. Freaking, if you're going to sit there and take a franchise that actually, you know, that really defined you and helped you become who you were back in the past, same with like games like Prince of Persia, which is now Assassin's dog shit. But the thing of it is that give me a proper freaking Rainbow Six game and give me a proper Tom Clancy Ghost Recon game. Then I'll be happy. Then I'll be happy. Yeah. But no, they don't want to. The Division was a massive letdown for me. Yeah, granted, sure, I played the crap out of it. I plat that game, whatever. But the game still sucked. Whatever. I stick with people. I'll play games that even if they suck, I'll play them. Hell, how many people, and I'm not gloating here, trust me, I wouldn't gloat over this piece of shit game, but I think I was the only console person in the entire existence of this freaking planet that played Life of Black Tiger on PS4 and got all the goddamn trophies in the motherfucker. So I don't recommend that game. Please don't.
God.
Do not play that game, people. For the love of Christ, save your soul. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard you can mock that game to death.
Oh, that game is terrible. That game is terrible.
That's crazy. Now, what somebody said, somebody said, how about a No Man's Sky 2?
No,
I like No Man's Sky.
No.
Ryan Landis in the chat.
I don't want a sequel. I just want them to, if this next big update that I think what it's supposed to be, what's going on right now with this ARG shit like that, and a lot of people are pointing fingers on what they're doing. Yeah, the next update is going to be a massive overhaul to the way No Man's Sky plays. And eventually it's going back to the way that we were promised from the get-go. Is it too late? Yeah. But for me, don't give a fuck. I'm still going to be playing the crap out of that game.
Yeah, and right now it's $19.99. So
well, that's still too expensive for people to buy. When that new update comes out, man, I don't know. But I can tell you one thing right now. I'm always, that's one game that I will say that I will never, ever delete off my hard drive on PSN or off my PS4. Unless my system dies or something like that, then I have to re-download it, sure. But right now, that game is never, ever getting removed off of my PS4 digitally wise. Because that's one game I can always go back to and play the fuck out of it and have fun. I love that game. And like I said before, that is my game of the year last year.
Yeah, I'm thinking, what did they lie about? I mean, they said it was going to be an open world game where there's going to be space combat. You can land on every planet and explore, provided you got the right equipment. So, you know, that's what they said. I remember that guy coming out. What's his name? Sean, whatever his name was. He was on, he was on Stephen Colbert's show. And you asked, what do they lie about? They lie about a lot of shit. They lied about, being able to see other players. They lied about, even though that functionality without it being there, and yeah, it's still not there, but that functionality, if it was there, nobody would give a fuck after the first 5 minutes. And I'm not even going to explain as to why, but I'm just going to say it would have been a useless feature. But the thing of it is that the fact that wasn't there, there was a few other things. I mean, I looked through the list. And I'm looking at a lot of this stuff too as well. Like, yeah, okay, that's not there. That's not there. A lot of that stuff is now in the game now, by the way. But at vanilla launch. A lot of the stuff that weren't in the game, it was just more aesthetic shit. That's all it really was. Yeah, he said they built their own periodic table.
Now
that I didn't like. To me, just use the regular periodic table. I mean, that to me would have made more sense. I wouldn't have sold the wrong stuff because I'm used to the periodic table. And I'm like, oh, I don't need this. And then I'm like, no, I need to get that.
Yo, Craig, and it's funny because Wolflow brings up a good point. Like, and he's right. Not many people listened to literally 90% of the stuff that Sean said. Everybody uses that infamous, fucking video, right? That Game Informer put up way back in November of 2014. But yet they don't even bother going back to July of the same year when GameSpot covered that shit. And there was a 2-part video. In the second part of that video, he comes out and he talks about how there is going to be a multiplayer mode that was going to come out after the game launched. But yet nobody, and I repeat, nobody fucking said a fucking word about that. Nothing.
Remember that. Yeah.
And I showed it in a video. And I showed it into a video, and I showed him like, look, this is the day that this video came out. This is the day that everyone's referring to when he started lying about being able to see other players. Yeah, that wasn't in the game. That's fine. But when everybody was expecting this big multiplayer mode, that was never promised. After the game comes out is when he said that shit. It's like, motherfucker, listen. Nobody listens, man.
Yeah, I agree. And I think No Man's Sky, this is just my opinion, was one of the first games that, because it was a console exclusive game, this is when the height of the fanboy wars was who's got more exclusives, blah, blah, blah. Sony was starting to drop their pants and whip it out. And I think the Microsoft people saw it. They were like, no, we're going to ruin, this. I mean, what I got when I bought it, I was there midnight. GameStop right up the street here. I was up there, and what I got is what you're just saying, Bear. Nobody listened to Murray. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm just going to go around, explore, land on some random planets, and that's it. That's what I got.
Here's another thing. I do agree with what Ryan just said. That Hello Games went quiet after the game came out, and a lot of people were speculative with that. It's like, what the fuck, that kind of stuff with that. But here's the thing. Glad that the team from Hello Games didn't come out and give an actual apology statement, because what is that going to do for you after the first time you read that? Nothing. You're not going to give a shit. But with him apologizing to me, as far as by adding all the features and adding other features too as well that were supposed to be there day one that are now in the fucking game, I'll accept that as my apology. Apologize through your updates and apologize through the actual content that you're bringing to these updates that are going to actually enhance the game. And that's exactly what Hello Games has been doing. So I'd rather have that as my apology than him coming on Twitter, hey guys, I'm sorry, we didn't have enough funds to do all this crap with that. I apologize. And after 2 days, nobody gives a fuck after that point. How many times have we seen developers come out and release a game? Look at EA. I'll give you the prime example. Going back to EA, because God forbid EA, when they released Battlefield 4, you know what they did? They didn't fucking apologize until after they made their fucking money and came out and said, oh yeah, we're sorry guys that our servers were so fucked up at the beginning of the launch of this game, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Really? No, I'm done, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah. But you get no arguments from me on that one. I just think that apologize through what you do,
through your content. I'll take that as my apology right there, because at least you're actually fixing your game than blatantly coming out and saying a word and then people forget about what you just said like 2 days down the road, but nothing comes out of it though. I'd rather have them apologize through their content and their updates, and that's exactly what Hello Games has been doing. And at this new update that's going to be coming out there either later on this month or right before the anniversary, because next month's the anniversary, and you can bet your ass I'm doing a podcast on that motherfucker. Hell yeah.
Yeah, because I thought that it was supposed to come out in June. I remember it got pushed back, and it got reported in Game Informer or something like that, or it was online, and that guy got attacked because he reported it on a Wednesday. And what I did a podcast on it, I just said, look, that's not their story. Let's let Hello Games
exactly, Wolf. Exactly.
I'd say that for me, let's let them tell. And then, Sean Murray did come out Friday morning or whatever, Friday afternoon over in England. And he said, we're going to delay the game. And Sony was fine. I was like, fine, take your time. I remember that did come out in August. I remember I bought that instead of Madden.
Yeah, and it's funny because he even said because back in March when he did his GDC press conference, man, he came out and openly admitted that that they did not have the funds to make the game that was supposed to be what the game was. He said that during GDC. He came out, we ran out of money. We didn't have any of that. But look what he did. That game, believe it or not, when everybody coined the infamous meme, No Man Buy. Well, clearly that was obviously bullshit. Because that game sold tremendously well on Steam and also on PS4. It sold incredibly well. So what did they do with that money? They put it back into the game. So now they're working on stuff. They're making the game back to the way it was meant to be freaking played when the game launched, people. And so again, like I said, that's my apology. I'll take that as my apology. Then having a developer come out and say, we're sorry, but they do not fix their fucking problems to their game or their actual next game that comes out. And like Wolflo said, we're sorry, guys. Please pre-order our next DLC. No.
Yeah, let me ask you, do you think it was too ambitious?
Yes and no. I think it was a little too ambitious for what he wanted to do, because this was actually technically something that like you don't really see a whole lot in games. I just wish that he had more time to fucking get this game off the ground. Again, I apologize for swearing so much. God damn it. I'm French Canadian, so that's why I'm blaming it on. But either way, I wish the game would have had more development time. Just like with Andromeda as well. But that's just me.
Yeah, Andromeda. Yeah, if they had just pushed that, because that came out in February, right? And
March.
It's March. Yeah, okay. Yeah, had they pushed that till June, a lot of this stuff, especially the "my face is tired" thing, that unfortunately that's where that game is going to be in my head. And I made my guy look like Black Belt Jones. He had an afro, he had the sideburns. I had fun with that, but my face is tired. Even when and the thing about those Mass Effect podcasts, see, a lot of those cats and girls got to go out to EA in San Francisco to play it a week before EA Access even got it.
Oh, wow.
And they played it for 15, 20 hours, and they did not report what they saw.
Because they probably weren't allowed to. Because remember, when you go to these types of events, which is why I'll never, ever do it, because I've had a couple like indie devs ask me to review their game, and I turn it down. Because I don't want them to put any kind of restrictions on my review opinion. I don't like developers that do that. So when you go to like an actual early access event, you have to sign a contract to let them know that I'm not going to speak anything about this game. I'm not going to talk ill about your game. It's like if I had to sign that contract, I'll put a big X on the thing and say, fuck you and leave. Because I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, man. No matter what game it is, even if it's early access or not, but you tell me that I cannot talk about my own like flaws with your game, I'm not going to touch your game. Because to me, that's one of the biggest issues that I have when it comes to a lot of reviews nowadays, is that they leave important shit out of their review, which not most people would actually give two craps about, but there are gamers out there that want to be informed by that information, and they leave it out. And it's like, no. How many times people, answer this question in the chat, and you can even answer this real quick, sorry, is how many times have you bought in the game, right, that you read a review for, and you're playing the game, and you happen to come across a feature that IGN or GameSpot or any review site did not put in their fucking review?
You're right. My whole thing is that it made them look bad. I told them this. I said, look, guys, this makes you all look like there's a quid pro quo. And people started questioning these guys' integrity. And a lot of them do not do YouTube videos on Mass Effect anymore. They still do YouTube videos. I mean, these were big. I'm a little guy. I'm tiny. But these guys have got 25, 30 subs. And they lost a lot of subs over this because they still won't come out and say, look, the game was this and this. So but go ahead, man.
Oh no, I was laughing because I'm agreeing with what you're saying. But another thing though, it's like what Flo said. It's like now you look at the back of the box and it gives you like half IGN review on the back of the box when you buy that shit retail. Like we all remember the infamous Arkham City, right? Arkham City box, the Game of the Year one that had so many freaking numbers on the front of the box. Was that even necessary?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Look, now I've already said myself before in the past, I don't care what's on the front cover of the box. I mean, I've seen people get triggered by that, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. That makes no freaking sense to me when people get so angry or upset on the way the box art. Like when everybody complained about the Doom Marine guy being on the front of the box where they changed it, why is that an issue? Because people are like, oh, I want to have better box art. But yeah, but generally, more than likely, when you have that game sitting on your shelf, all you see is the spine of the actual box. You don't see the front cover of the box. Let alone you're playing the game and not the fucking box art. So I never understood that. I never understood that.
Even in Mass Effect 2, I don't know if you all remember this, but people bitched and moaned about the artwork of Mass Effect 2 on the cover. They were like, it doesn't look like a space. It doesn't look like this. And people were complaining about this. This is like way before. I was just kind of going on YouTube to watch UFO videos. You know, it's like, why are people complaining about this game?
Oh, you're so right about that, dude. I don't know. It just look. I'm going to say that it's more of a nitpick for me when I see people do that. It's more nitpicky because there are people that do want to do that, and that's fine. I'm not going to take that away from them. But for me, it just doesn't make sense, you know. And like, but I will say this though, and I've talked to Wolflow about this and many others that come to my channel, and I really want to get your thoughts on this too as well. But do you think that gamers have it made now compared to what we had it back then? And well, to elaborate on that more, just to give you exactly what I'm talking about. Like now gamers have all the gameplay at their exposure. They got playthroughs at their exposure. They have walkthroughs at their exposure. Best of all, they have all these media events that cover gaming now. We didn't have that freaking luxury back then. We had to go based on images in the magazine. We had to go based on the actual back of the actual game box that we'd rather buy / or rent. And I wish renting was still around because, goddamn, I would save myself so much money on that process. But on top of that, too, as well, we didn't have the luxury of seeing gameplay. We got lucky to we'll walk into our retail store and we happen to see a gameplay for a video that could be like a trailer or something attached to like one of like their actual in-store promotional trailer videos for that month. You might see a quick glimpse of a game. But that's it. Yeah. That's all we saw. But now it's like everything is there at people at gamers' disposal. Man, they got a fucking made people now, man.
Well, I do agree with that. They you all don't realize how easy you all do have it. You get stuck on I don't know if you're playing Skyrim, you get stuck in one of those caverns.
To bring up that garbage game.
Yeah, I'm just saying you can go on, you can pause the game. All right, Uncharted 4. You literally, because I don't like solving puzzles because I don't have the patience to flip everything. So I pause the game and just come over to the computer and type in Uncharted 4 XYZ puzzle, and there is the solve right there. And you're right. Me and Bear, we didn't have that. We ran into that. We had to wait, and then a magazine would come out. You would sneak into the store and try to find it real quick, write it down, and you go home. You know, that's what we had to do. We couldn't.
That's why they started putting plastic sleeves, you know, with the magazine. I call it, because people would go in there, they wouldn't buy the magazine. They'll search through it, they'll write down cheat codes for Contra or DK, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff of that. And they won't buy the magazine. So these publishers are like, hell no. We'll put them in sleeves. But even that didn't stop anything. When the PlayStation magazines came out, we were all guilty of this. If you were born in that time period, we're all guilty of doing this. We would go into the store and we would freaking steal that demo disc. We didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Which now demos, I will give this credit because we saw this at the end of last generation. Is picked up again. Demo disc at the end of last gen were the last demo disc I remember from the last gen was Saints Row. I remember that demo disc coming to my house and like, I got a demo disc, you know. But now I give them credit. There's a shit ton of demos, so. And that's something that we all asked for.
Yo, Craig, get this right. I talked about this on my show, but the other day I came across this little pouch thing that was sitting on top of the stairs in my building, right? So I went to the store and I came back and it was still sitting there. So I brought it in my house and it was full of different types of old school games, like a couple PS2, a couple Xbox 360 ones, whatever. But one thing that was in this thing that blew my fucking mind, bro. It was an interactive CD sampler pack for the PS1. It was one of the very first editions, bro. The very first edition that came with Mortal Kombat 3 demo, Twisted Metal, and NHL fucking Face Off, dude. That shit is amazing. When I saw that, dude, I was like, yo, I haven't seen one of these since freaking back when Pizza Hut was still relevant.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember that shit. But
that shit was insane when I saw that, man.
And that's why now when you go in, I mean, when I bought Mass Effect Andromeda, it came out on a Tuesday, and I was off on Wednesday because I did the whole plan. I'm a big Mass Effect fan. Everybody on the channel knows this. So I took 2 days off, and I was ready to play. And yeah, you're right. They try to sell you. Somebody put in the chat the hint books and strategy guys took a nosedive. I'm like, yeah, because they tried to sell me a book like that, and they were like, I said, dude, have you ever heard of the internet? The game will be solved by the time I get home, you know. So so yeah, I do agree that you all got it a little bit easier. Now, you all's games on some levels are challenging. One of the most challenging games you all probably never played is Cubert, though. That was a giant math game. You didn't realize you were taught math. Yeah.
Cubert was
that
was a mind fuck. That was a mind fuck.
Yeah, yeah, but I agree with you. They've got it a little bit easier. I mean, remember when Mass Effect 3 ended and people got mad at the ending? They sent BioWare a bunch of red, green, and blue cupcakes because they were mad at the ending. I mean, that's what they're dealing with. Yeah, and I still to this day, that's why I think Andromeda is their revenge. Because I don't think they really wanted to do Andromeda. They just did it because people were crying for a Mass Effect game. So they said, well, here you go.
I was one of them, dude. See, here's the thing. It's funny because back last generation, I didn't give a flat ass for Mass Effect. I played the first one, hated it. Second one came out, I played it, hated it. Yeah. The third one came out, played it, hated it. Didn't even get that very far. I was like, no, this game sucks. It wasn't until a friend of mine started talking about all this alien shit from the game, talking about all these characters, whatever you want to call it. So I was like, you know what, man? Let me go give this game another try. So I bought the trilogy pack, man. I beat all 3 in less than I think it was like a couple of days because I literally just binged through all 3 of them. Fell in love with it. Fell in love with it. Now it's like one of my favorite trilogies freaking of all time, man.
Yeah. What hooked me, I think, how did it hook me? I was playing it and I was enjoying it. And when they make you a Spectre, when they did that, and it just felt like I was given this huge responsibility. Then I thought, oh, okay, it's going to be a linear game. I'm going to have to go where they tell me. And they literally say in that console meeting or cancel meeting, they were like, we'll give you information. You go where you think it's important. You know, and I'm thinking, yeah. This is great. You know, I get to pick where I want to go, and it's going to affect gameplay. And people were like, yeah, you know, the other guys had said, yeah, you play this game, and what you choose affects what's going to happen down the line, and it affects later dialogue. I'm like, yeah, that's not been done before. You know, so and that's what hooked me. Plus, saving your game and importing your character. That's still they're the only game that's done that. Nobody else has done that. That was ballsy to do that, to write that much code and all that kind of stuff. So that's where they got me. So, you know, plus the sex scenes. So,
well, I mean, Inquisition was the first to actually do it first, by the way, before Andromeda came out. Mm-hmm. Inquisition, like that's when they opened up that whole entire, like the sex scene with more nudity and stuff in it. And whatever you want to call it, I was like, oh, BioWare, where are you going? I see you evolved up in the world. Excellent. Right on.
Well, Halo Storm said he loves Mass Effect, but I'm wrong. Wrong? Are you saying KOTOR? Yeah, well, I did play KOTOR, but it was, the system in KOTOR was black and white, though. But that was okay because of,
you can either be a good game, by the way.
Yeah, good Jedi or a bad Jedi. Yeah, and honestly, had BioWare done a Knights of the Old Republic 3, instead of a Mass Effect Andromeda, they may have been better off, you know. But
BioWare, where's my next freaking Neverwinter Nights, you cocksuckers?
Maybe after Anthem.
No. See, the thing is that, you know, BioWare, or at least from EA's perspective, I doubt they'll ever let BioWare do something like that again, because there's not really a big audience for consoles that would play that. You know, whatever.
Yeah, I can't argue with it though. But yeah, that was one for me when it hit me with Mass Effect. But they've I'm looking forward to these games this fall. I certainly hope Microsoft gets back into the game. There's a lot of people who are gonna buy that console, and I think they might. Do you think that? Do you think that you think they delivered on what they said, or do you just think the fanboys kind of took a lot of stuff and ran with it? So
I think the fanboys definitely took a lot of stuff and ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm one of those types of people that like it's really, really easy to ignore little like things that people would consider to be huge issues, like the whole entire like the no expressions on people's faces in Andromeda. That didn't bother me. You know what I mean? Yeah, was it an issue? Sure. But to me, it was an issue that could be overlooked. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't, like, I know people say, oh, it's an immersion breaker, man, but it's like that, whatever. Okay, fine, fair enough. That's on you. That's you. But from my perspective of things, though, man, I mean, no, not really. I mean, I think fanboys definitely take a lot of big things and run with it. I mean, look at a lot of people, like, we're all excited for Resident Evil 7, right? I will never play that game because that's not Resident Evil to me. Now, before anybody just like, what? You know, the whole entire survival horror aspect, man. But that's not why I play Resident Evil, bro. That game is a pile of steaming shit. And I'm never going to touch the game with a 10-inch fucking pole. And I love Resident Evil, man. But that game? No. Fuck no. Give me Resident Evil 2 Remake, which is better be coming out soon, Capcom. And you better not mess that game up, Capcom. I swear to God, dude. I swear to Christ on my soul, don't mess that game up. But anyways, what I'm saying is, though, is that I play Resident Evil games, right, for its lore, its characters, and whatever the case may be. The characters in 7 are shit. The lore in that game is horrendous. And even the tie-ins are fucking garbage in that game. So I will never touch 7 at all, period. But fanboys, however, though, that love that series, fucking will sit there and say that 7 is by far one of the best RE7 or Resident Evil games to come out in a long time, blah, 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 blah. But they only care about a fucking genre, not the game itself.
Yeah. Now, to me, it was more like, you're talking about the one that just came out, Biohazard? Is that what it's called, or Bio?
Yeah, Resident Evil 7? Yeah, I'm never going to touch that.
Yeah, to me, it felt more like a Silent Hill game. So that's just the way it felt to me. You know, but I heard in VR, they said that game in VR is crazy.
Yeah, VR. Now, I did hear about that, and my buddy Joey can definitely confirm to that he said that game is amazing in VR, which I would definitely give that props to. Yeah. I would probably shout out to Capcom for doing that. But my stance on that game is still technically the same. I will never, ever freaking play RE7 as long as I live, because that is not Resident Evil to me.
Yeah, and I liked everybody says that Resident Evil 4 is the best one. Do you agree with that?
Nope.
Okay, I like 5. So
no, okay. Hold on. Time out, because I want people to school me in the chat. I love RE4, but I think RE4 is slightly overrated now because of how many freaking re-releases that game has gotten over the last couple of years. But it still is a great game. Don't get me wrong; it's a phenomenal game. But do I think it's the best one in the series? For the over-the-shoulder view, sure. But is it the best one as a whole? No. RE2 takes the cake on that one. I'm sorry. RE2 is by far the best one out there, next to Nemesis for me and Code Veronica. And the first game.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've played them all. I've played legitimately every single Resident Evil game out there except for 2 of them. Gaiden, outside from emulation, which is a Game Boy game, and that game is not that very good. And, of course, Gun Survivor 2, Code Veronica. But, I mean, I played everyone else. I even played Umbrella Corps, and I was actually okay with that game. Oh, boy.
Yeah,
I apologize for saying that. I didn't say that. I'm sorry. You did not hear that coming out of my mouth. Moving on.
Nah, they've I got tired of them after Nemesis. A friend of mine, he loved Nemesis, though. He said, you don't understand. You could be doing stuff that all of a sudden that guy busts through the door, be like, stars. I'm like, well, that's just corny.
Yeah, Nemesis was good. Nemesis was damn good. I think Nemesis is by far the most underrated in the franchise, I think, in my opinion. But like 6, everybody hated 6. All right.
Yeah.
And for reasons I can understand. I get that. But I liked it because it actually stayed true to what I like about Resident Evil. You know, it stayed true to the lore, it stayed true to the characters, it got more insight on Anti-Umbrella and other characters. Same with Revelations 1 and 2. I mean, I thought Revelations 2 was phenomenal because it brought back Barry Birkin, which is a fan favorite. You know, and plus, even with that newest movie that just came out there, Damnation, the new CG, not Damnation, Vendetta that came out there last month. Yeah, they brought back Rebecca Chambers. They finally explained what the fuck happened to her. So there you go.
What about Ada? Because remember that Resident Evil, Ada, wait.
Yeah.
That's what I
The voice acting has never been a very classy thing when it comes to the classic games, man. But look, in that time period, though, man, we thought that shit was phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
we all thought it was phenomenal.
Yeah. It's like Grand Theft Auto Vice City. When I first played that, I thought it can't get no better than this. I remember playing that game like, oh, it's never going to get any better than this.
Right? I remember seeing that opening cutscene for the very first time when I was young, man, when I first played Resident Evil 1. And I remember seeing that live action cutscene, man, and I was freaking floored. Yeah. I couldn't believe what I saw. Yeah. I was like, yo, this is the future of gaming right here. But now we're in the future of gaming now where Battlefield 1 looks so realistic that it doesn't even make Battlefield fun for me anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they've I agree. It's just I mean, you get games though, like we got games like Horizon Zero Dawn, and of course Microsoft's doing a clone of it allegedly.
Horizon
I got in trouble for that. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying like Horizon was definitely an okay game. I mean, I've seen a lot of Sony fans out there, that praise the game and call it the next best thing, the sliced bread, whatever you want to call it. I don't see it. I played it. I plat the game for the record, and I can show proof of that if need be. I played it. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that game for what it was. And shout out to Garuda, because Garuda was the guy that hooked it up with me for that game, or whatever the case may be, because he wanted me to play it, beat it, and actually give a thorough review. And I did. The game was okay. The combat was phenomenal in that game. Like, I was blown away on how fun and diverse that combat could be, because it really is fun to sit there and fuck around with those, robotic creatures and whatever you want to call it, right? Yeah. But the story didn't really get any good until about midway through the game. The character animations, as far as cutscenes go, were fucking atrocious. And get this, I had uploaded a video about 3 weeks prior to the game coming out. And it was a game, like whatever the case may be. It was like, oh, Bear, that's beta footage. I even got fucking my life was threatened in that video, bro, in the comment section, right? Yeah. And it was like, no, Bear, this video is garbage. It's beta, but blah, 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 blah. The game comes out. That exact same freaking scene is still in the damn game. And it plays out the exact same way. That game has some of the worst voice acting I've ever heard in a game. Well, not ever heard. That's a lie, but it definitely is not that very good. I mean, Ashley Birch did an amazing job at Aloy. Aloy is a damn good character. Awesome character. Yeah. But the story could have been better, and the actual, whatever you want to call it. However, with that said, though, I would much rather see more Horizon games come out than shitty-ass Killzone games. And that is a fact. No, that's my opinion, but that's besides the point.
Well, and I think people were saying since sliced bread met butter because it was a game. It's a game from a company that did Killzone.
Exactly. So I give them a little bit of leeway on that. I have to give them a little bit of leeway on that. But it definitely has potential, man. It has potential. And when I played it, so like I said, I played it, I plat the game, I beat it. It's a good game. But I wouldn't say it's amazing or that kind of that. But it definitely is a step in the right direction to where I would like to see Guerrilla go with that series. So I give them props on that.
Yeah. I told people, I said, well, look, I still think as far as open world that I've played this gen, that's going to be Witcher 3. But I caveated that by saying Witcher 3, they may have the nice house with the nice grill, but those guys at Guerrilla, they not on the same street. But when they light up that grill, they're going to smell it. Because
you're going to hate me for this?
Huh? Yeah, go ahead.
You're going to hate. You're definitely going to hate me for this. See, now I own Witcher 3. I finally got my hands on it there last year, and I've been slowly playing it. And I took a break from it for a while. And the way everybody praised the way that game looks, whenever the case may be, that game does nothing for me at all from a graphical visual standpoint. That game does nothing for me. I love the gameplay for it. Don't get me wrong. The gameplay, phenomenal. But as far as the graphic fidelity goes, I don't see it. I just don't see it. But again, here's the thing about me, man. I don't care about graphic fidelity. Because they're awesome. If it's not there, if it's something that I don't really focus on, don't care. I mean, I'm looking at my screen, but I'm too busy paying attention on what the hell I'm doing as a character. I'm not sitting there visualizing, oh man, I can see that guy skin pour, man. This game, best game ever made. Like, what the fuck? No. Now, I will say that it is, I will say, it does visually stand out amongst a lot of other games, but at the end of the day, it does nothing for me. It does nothing for me at all.
Yeah, no, I understand that. What I liked about the game is that CD Projekt Red gave us so much free stuff. I mean, like stuff you just go to that screen, you like, add. Nope, it was free. That I felt guilty when DLC came out, and I'm like, well, man, you gave me so much free stuff. I'll go ahead and buy the DLC. But
CD Projekt Red did it right. They did it right
Yeah,
with their DLC.
and I'm thinking, yeah, and I hope that EA with Star Wars Battlefront, because their DLC is supposed to be free, so maybe they're going to do something similar, So as far as with Star Wars Battlefront, so it's just more content, character content is going to be on the Sony side. So that's what I was telling people the other day. I think that the Star Wars fans, the ones who don't care about T-flops and V-Sync and 4K, they're just asking, like people have asked me, hey, when is that game coming out? Is that I've told them it's going to be on both systems and PC, and they turned around and said, well, that's fine, but where can I get the content? I want the different robes and stuff like that, because they're collectors. They don't care. I mean, they'll play the game for maybe 30 minutes, Bear. Star Wars game, so
that sounds right. No, I do agree with Fall of Duty, man. The fact is that I have not seen The Witcher 3 from a PC standpoint maxed out, and whatever the case may be, that could be something different. You know what I mean? But I'm only going based on what I see from the console version. So yeah, he definitely is right about that, because I really can't say that is a full-on thing. I can only say that from a console perspective and not from a PC perspective.
Yeah, Obadiah John said the combat was terrible in his opinion. Unless you're doing it wrong.
It was unique. It was unique. Like what?
Yeah.
Like okay. Go back and play Witcher Enhanced Edition, the very first game, right? The one that never came out on consoles. You play that game, right? That game was way more advanced as far as a Witcher game goes, because the way you had to go from up, medium to high with your sword play, whatever they want to call it, it really brought combat a lot more depth. Yeah. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Yeah,
well, remember the first Assassin's Creed, you had high mode and low mode. The way you did your
Assassin's Creed game was terrible.
Yeah, well, the combat.
The combat was decent though. Yeah, the combat brought something new.
Yeah, they switched that, I think, in Assassin's Creed 3 because people said it was too hard. I'm like, it's one button. You either want to try to escape and get away, or you want to try to kill everybody. So which mode do you want to be in? So
and it's funny because one thing I really want to see Ubisoft stop doing though is I really want to see them stop doing bull shots. Because when Far Cry 2 came out, that's when that whole entire holy trend of Ubisoft with the bull shots started, and it got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they'll stop doing that. Hopefully they will definitely stop doing that. So, but we'll wait and see, because Watch Dogs 1 was the last massive freaking letdown, dude, as far as the graphical downgrade goes.
Oh, yeah. Well, you mentioned it earlier, the Division, I had a graphical downgrade too. And Bear, I honestly think that's where the whole thing with pixels, what game was 1080p, 720p, it was because the first game I remember was Witcher 3 being run at the E3. I don't know if it was 2013, 2014. I can't remember. But and shout out to Jay Fonz, because we were just talking about this the other day. I truly believe after The Witcher 3, and then we saw it on the Xbox One, it's like, wait a minute, it don't look nothing like the game they showed at E3. Then after that, people started counting pixels. Like, okay, why would they E3? And now and then remember that Ghost. Oh, do you remember the IGN Call of Duty Ghost, which was trash. All right, trash. But they had the 720p build next to the 1080p build for Sony, and people just went crazy. I mean, that's what those two games right there, to me, is the ones that set everything off on pixels, and the grass is greener on Grand Theft Auto over here. I mean, it was terrible.
So I have a question for you there, Greg, and everybody in the chat. If a game comes out, because I've seen a lot of people talk about this on Twitter and whatever the case may be, that if a game is not in 60 FPS, they won't play it.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people in the gaming community and a lot of people on Twitter come out and basically say, oh, if this game is not in 60, I'm not playing it.
Damn.
And to me, I sit back and I ponder to myself, and I'm like, why? What if the developers actually intended to make their game run at that frame rate for their own reasons? Because it makes sense to the gameplay. You're going to ignore it because it's not 60 FPS? The fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And to me, that blows my mind, man. I mean, even though back in the day, we didn't have games that ran that very freaking well. We had games that ran at less than 30, for Christ's sakes, but nobody cared. We didn't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But ignoring a game that's not 60 when the game is designed with 30 FPS in mind, it's like, fucking slap yourself, man.
I don't disagree. They where they got me is here's the way I really feel about it, and I've said this before. If you play on a console, you better just get used to 30 FPS. Anything above that is icing. But they being the developers, always target 30. It's a effing console. Now, if you want 60 or 80, that's why you save money and you go buy a PC that can do that. And you play the same games. You can play Call of Duty on PC or Forza on PC. You'll be at 60. I just don't understand why people don't delineate between the two. It's like you want the people on console, you're never going to get what the PC guys have. It's just not going to happen. They will always be 2 generations ahead of you. You know, so you know, it's just the way it's going to be, you know. So 14 is like now you're bragging about 4K when most people are going to be at 1440p. That's the sweet spot, 1440p 60. So, but I've never understood that. I have no problem with like Horizon Zero Dawn being a 30 or The Witcher or Grand Theft Auto, the new one, Grand Theft Auto 5, you know, that everybody is still playing. And nobody's complaining about that game being 30, you know. Motorsports, Horizon 3 is 30, and everybody says this is the better version. And it didn't Motorsport 60. You know, nobody complained, you know. So I'm just simply saying that to me, that's sad because it's a console. Now, if it's a PC game and they're like I don't know, Star Citizen, they come out and say, all right, it's ready to come out. It's going to be 30 FPS. Yeah, people will throw shit at the screen, and I don't blame them because they're used to playing games at 60. But
exactly,
I just somebody put in let's put in fake 4K.
Yeah, no, Garuda is definitely right about that, man. You can see a lot of people like, oh, I'm playing this in 4K, only when you realize that it's not fucking native 4K, and they're like, oh, I don't like this game anymore.
I had to tell somebody that.
Really?
You know, like, hey, look, according to Microsoft, true 4K to them is checkerboard dynamic native. So let's apply that to Sony. That means that the Horizon Zero Dawn on the Pro is 4K because it's 1800p upscale to 2160. So that's a checkerboard, you know. So just stop. Either go buy the damn console or don't go buy the damn console. You know, that's all. You know, I'm not buying it, but if somebody wants to be nice and buy it for me, I'll take it. You know, that's all I can say for you.
Yeah, one of your moms brings up a good point. He's like, here's how dumb people are. If the game looks amazing in 60 FPS but sucks, they would be happy. Yeah, right. He's absolutely right. But
consoles to me should target 30. And now there's some games I get it. The new Metal Gear, the Phantom Pain, that was 60 FPS. That was a big deal when it came out. Like, yeah, it's 1080p 60. I do remember those conversations online. People were just going through it. I mean, going through it. You know, the Destiny bill. You know, Destiny. It's hot garbage. It very well may be Destiny 2, but they're like it's going to be 30 FPS. And if you have a PC capable, it's going to be like what 140 or 100. It's some astronomical. Like, if that's what you want, go buy it on a PC.
You know, one of your actual subscribers in the chat there, that Ryan, he says Ryan Landis, I think is. I'm sorry if I say your name wrong. He goes, I think it's a little too early to push 4K. 1080p 60 should have been the next goal. You know what? He's absolutely right, because look how long before the actual Neo ever came into a rumor fruition. You know, like back for the first 2.5 years, everyone talked about that. It's like, yo, when are we going to get games that's 1080 60? When are we going to get games that's 1080 30? You know what I mean? Native to 1080p. That was something that, you know, a lot of these days we were promised that from the get-go of this generation. Maybe you want to call it out of nowhere. They're like, 4K. And everyone's like, oh, they lit up with like fucking. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah, and I don't remember. Really, I don't remember. Bro.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I don't remember Sony walking out, even at their new press conference when they launched the Pro. They never said all our games are going to be 4K native. They said it will allow the developers to use higher higher resolution, whether it be temporal aliasing or something like that, and super sampling, and you will be able to upscale to 4K. And then Mark Cerny in a press conference afterwards said, look, some games will be able to get to 4K native, but ultimately that's if the developers need to sacrifice too much on frames, they don't have to do it. It's up to them.
Yep.
That's what he said. I mean, I don't, but I argue with people. No, that Sony's 4K machine isn't that good. And I was like, all right, you try to stay out of the crumb side. You try to get out, but they pull you back in, So,
sadly, that's the way life goes. So
yeah,
Hellblade, because that's one of your topics for your video, because people are warning about that. So what's your thoughts on Hellblade?
Me, day one for me.
Hell yeah, brother, man. Hell yeah, dude.
I've
been, and it's funny because like that's a game that I've been following since they first announced it, because that game like went under the radar for the longest time. And then I was following along with all the dev diaries, dude. That game is going to be something amazing. Like no word of a lie. Now there's definitely going to be a misconception with that game for sure. Because remember, like when they first showed that game off, it looked like a very combat heavy driven game. But this time around, people were like, we're pointing fingers and like, yo, why is Hellblade only $30? Like, should we be worried about this game? And it's like, motherfucker, no. Shut up with that price tag. But no, the thing is like the way this game is designed, man, like this game is going to be one of those types of experiences that you have to play for yourself in order to understand it. Yeah. And I cannot wait for that game to drop there at the end of or the beginning of August, man. Oh God, I can't wait. I've been waiting for that game for the last 2 years, bro. The last 2 years.
Hellblade was one of the games during the big console war last year where this is one of the games that got delayed. It got delayed like the same week that Horizon Zero Dawn got pushed. It was like the same week Horizon got pushed and so did Hellblade, but everybody was keen on Horizon, especially the Xbox community. They were like, yeah, it's not ready. It's not going to work, But August 8th, we're 1 month away.
Yeah, man, I can't wait. I cannot wait for that beast to drop, dude.
Yeah. Yeah,
you're gonna see a lot of messed up things in that game that a lot of people are gonna be like, huh? The hell's going on, man?
Yeah. And they said that. They said she is traumatized, and they talked to actual psychologists about psychosis behavior, and it's gonna be crazy. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm pumped for Hellblade. Like 2 years, man. I've been waiting for that beast to drop, dude, man. Give it to me now. Damn it. I want it so bad. But that price though blew my mind when I saw that when they finally revealed the release date and price. I was like, what? $30? Well, 40 if you're Canadian. But that's a price I'm gladly gonna pay. I have no problem paying $40 for that mofo, dude. I cannot wait for that beast to drop next month.
That's what Guardian Legend said about the character. Yeah, she's cute, but Aloy's got that sexy walk when you're behind her. She's shaking. So I mean she's swaying back and forth.
Oh, Jesus.
I told a friend
it's all about that hip action for you, right, Craig?
Well, they paid attention to everything. She even has a sexy walk. So but
yeah, she's a special something, man. I mean, she's definitely really, really adorable. Yeah. Like very, 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 very cute.
Yeah, I tell people that Sony was apprehensive because, Naughty Dog was done with Uncharted as far as Nathan Drake, and he's one of the avatars of Sony, along with Kratos and
excuse me as I puked a little in my mouth.
You know what I'm talking about, Kratos. But they were really worried about what type of avatar and they couldn't do it with Tomb Raider because that's multiplayer. So it's like, here's a new character. They're taking a risk, and it worked out for them. It was a gamble that paid off, and now Nathan Drake can retire in peace because now Aloy will pick up the mantle.
Thank God.
Yeah. Nathan can.
I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. I'm not a fan of Uncharted. I really am not. I mean, I think Uncharted is meh at best.
Yeah, so are you going to get the Horizon DLC when it comes out?
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely get the Horizon Zero Dawn DLC when it drops. I mean, it's $15. That's a steal. I'll definitely get that. Lost Legacy, I'm waiting for that to go down in price drop, obviously. But yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, Lost Legacy may have to take an L from me if I'm not done with Hellblade.
Yep,
Lost Legacy comes on my birthday, so that's my. I wanted that. I prefer that as my birthday gift. But yeah, Hellblade. It's that to me is kind of looked into.
Like speaking of August though, Craig, man, like it seems like this year alone, like for August, like is by far this is going to be one of the better years for August, man. Because normally in August we get jack shit that comes out, right?
Yeah.
Looking the other day.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, that this is obviously, humbly, my preference when it comes to games. But there's a lot of great games that are coming out for the month of August, man. And I mean a shit ton. So you have what do you call it there? You got Hellblade, Lawbreakers. You've got the Mega Man Legacy Collection too. I will be getting that for some rage moments.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
The Agents of Mayhem comes out there too as well in August. City Skylines, Matterfall, Sonic Mania. You got the Lost Legacy Collection. Yeah. Game that one, Madden. Yeah, that's also coming out too as well. Absolver, Everybody's Golf, Pillars of Eternity, Warriors All-Star. I like my Dynasty Warriors games. That's just me, of course. Yakuza Kiwami. I don't know how to pronounce that because I'm retarded. And of course, Life is Strange before the storm, man. So I mean, August is definitely packing a punch this year for me, bro.
Yeah, I'll be signing up for some more shifts.
How can I hate Uncharted? I don't hate Uncharted. I don't hate it. I just think that it's an overrated series. It's just not really my thing. I mean, I own the Nathan Drake collection. I own Uncharted 4. I played Uncharted 4. I've beaten its story. I can't play through the first one because I had to be disconnected from the internet in order to play the first one, which is fucking stupid. But I played Uncharted 2, which is the one that everybody loves. I played it. I beat it, and I'm like, that's it? Oh, okay, cool. I mean, it was okay, but I mean, like, man, no. The multiplayer, now I will say this for the record. The second game, the multiplayer was phenomenal. Okay, then the fourth one came out, or the third one came out, and the fourth one came out, and it just like wipe my ass, Naughty Dog. Kiss my ass. Kiss my fucking ass. They ruined that multiplayer, man. The multiplayer is garbage. But look, I had fun when I was playing it with people. I will admit to that, dude, man, but I cannot stand that fucking multiplayer, dude. Oh, God. But yeah, I love Last of Us multiplayer. I'm horrible at the Last of Us multiplayer, dude, but at least that multiplayer is a lot more authentic and more fun. Whereas when you play Uncharted 4, you go off and you're playing it, whatever you want to call it. Next thing you know, you got a freaking person walking around with flames behind him and some of that dude just ganking the fuck at you for no reason, man. It's like, what? What are you doing, Naughty Dog? Fuck you, man. Moving on.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, because we both play games before online. Do you remember the times, me and Bear, let me ask you this. Do you think, because now people are used to getting patches, whether it be day one or week after or 2 days after, do you feel that the games that we got graphically didn't look as good? Me and Bear will give everybody that in the chat. But we did not have to worry about patches because the game was complete. Unless you have Nintendo generally doesn't have to patch anything. So that I know of. Let me make that clear that I know of.
Skyward Sword.
Okay. But let me ask you, do you think that the people nowadays that are gaming, whether they, let's say 18 and up, let's just 18 and up to say 28, do you feel that they're missing out on stuff as far as they're used to patches and like guys like me and you were just used to the complete game?
Yeah, to an extent, yeah, because developers definitely have gotten lazy. They push their games up before they're actually finished, and they patch them up with a day one update, so on and so forth. But yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you guys are missing out. Where's the only game I want now is Siphon Filter.
Thank you.
That's the one game.
Maybe that could be why I have. Okay, look, Days Gone is probably going to be good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think me personally, I think Days Gone's definitely going to have its own merits, whatever you want to call it. I was just very, very disheartening when I saw that was Sony Ben's new game, and I was like, really, man? You're going to take this Last of Us approach, man? Come on, give me Siphon Filter, man. I need my Logan, man. I need my note, come on, man. But I will get Days Gone. I think Days Gone has potential, man. After seeing that new gameplay mode, though, not gameplay mode, but gameplay at E3, I was like, you know what? This might be okay. It looks pretty decent. Doesn't look too bad. I mean, yeah, I'm going to sit on it for a little while just because of the price in Canada, and I keep repeating that. And I know I keep repeating that. I'm sorry, but trust me, you lived in Canada and you saw the prices of our games, you would literally ship bricks. But
yeah,
it's definitely. I'm definitely going to get it. I'm not going to hate on that game. Definitely not. But I am disappointed because I really want to see Siphon Filter come back. Definitely.
Yeah, I would like that. And I mean, for me, I wasn't going to buy Days Gone until I saw that gameplay trailer because I was tired of zombie games where the zombies move like it's 1921. I mean, if there was a zombie in my house, I could cook a bacon and egg sandwich before it got to me. It just moves too slow. So, and then I saw that, me and my girl, we watched that movie, World War Z, and I'm like, okay, this is the way a zombie should move.
Right?
Yeah, and so when I saw them in, that's the style they copied in Days Gone. I don't think they'll move as fast as that, but at least that's going to be challenging. I mean, I can sit up there. I told my brother, I said, look, if this was The Walking Dead, if the zombie was in my house, I could go to my room, go ahead, get a chub, come out of my bedroom, go to the bathroom, take a shower, go eat, and then the zombie will still be walking down the hallway. Something is going to be challenging. You know?
Slow or fast for me, man. I'm too fat anyways, man. So I'm an easy kill. So I'm out.
Yeah.
Just
but the gameplay, you're right. They did show a lot of the same games, but at least this time they showed some, I guess that was pre-alpha gameplay and or maybe it was late alpha gameplay for this E3. And I'm like, well, if the game looks like that and it hasn't even moved. Yeah, I'm buying it, you know. So, but yeah, I'm gonna be poor. PO, can't afford the OR.
But Corey said something about like me having good taste in games, and I said to him in the chat, I'm like, look, there's a lot of people that will tell you that would definitely disagree with that. Because look, I'm a sucker for shitty games, people. I really am. I mean, you know, like my love for No Man's Sky, that everybody hated that game, and yet that was my game of the year last year. I loved games like Umbrella Corps. Hell, all the way back to Last Generation. I mean, you can sit there and say, Bear, what was one of your, what is your little pride gem of Last Generation? Honestly, one of my pride gems of Last Generation, and people are going to fucking hate me for this. Operation Raccoon City was one of my pride gems Last Generation that came out last gen.
Yeah.
People are going to fucking hate me when they hear me say that in the live stream. They're going to freaking rip me apart. But games like, now, however, though, games like Last of Us, dude, that game, I can't even describe how good that game was. Like, there's like Naughty Dog gets their praises. Don't get me wrong. Even for Uncharted, they get their praises. Trust me. I'm just not a fan of Uncharted, but I will give them props, man. You know, they know what they're doing over there. But my God, Last of Us was an experience, man, from beginning to end that I was on the edge of my seat the whole fucking game, bro. Like that game blew me away. Blew me away, man. I was like, oh my God, this game is so good, man.
Yeah. The Last of Us it was one of those games that when I would play it for like 3 hours on a Saturday, and I would call up like 2 or 3 people and say, this is the best game I've ever played. Ever. And I'm talking about going all the way back to Pong. But I mean, like in Combat on Atari and Contra with the 30-man code. It was like, this is the best game I've ever played. You actually,
that's what I'm saying. But it's weird because like my taste, right, is, look, I'll be 100% honest with you guys. I'm not that big of a fan of a lot of Sony IPs. Right?
Yeah.
Like Crash Bandicoot, amazing. Jack and Daxter, amazing. Ratchet and Clank, amazing. Yeah. Uncharted, don't care for it. God of War, definitely do not care for God of War. Yeah. At least the older ones. The new one now, though, the new direction looks awesome. That one I definitely want to get. But I'm not a fan of the original God of War. And the irony in that, though, is that you would think that game would be right up my alley because I love games like Bayonetta. Hell, I love hack and slash games like Dynasty Warriors. But for whatever reason, I don't know what it is. I just don't like Kratos. I think Kratos is a whiny motherfucker. You know what I mean? Look, I understand that it's all about Greek mythology, whatever the case may be. I get all that. He's banging some prostitutes, whatever you want to call it. That's fine. But at the same time, I don't know what it is. I don't care for that franchise. But a lot of other games that Sony has done, like Twisted Metal, I used to love Twisted Metal. That series went to shit now. I mean, I'm not overly a huge fan of a lot of IPs, man. A lot of IPs for that Sony makes. But at the same time, I'm not also a big fan too as well of a lot of Microsoft IPs too as well. I'll be 100% honest there with that. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I do respect Sony though more because they do come out with a lot more distinct new IPs. And I will never ever say anything bad about that because that's where I have so much respect for Sony when they do come out with stuff like that. But I don't know. I guess it really just depends. Really, it just really kind of depends. But I mean, I don't know. Look, I'm not saying these games suck. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they're not really my cup of tea. But Last of Us, though, that game was beyond amazing. Beyond amazing. Yeah. I won't even. You will never ever hear me say anything bad about Last of Us. Period. Unless I'm joking with friends, but that's it. But outside from that, I'm never going to sit there and say, oh, Last of Us was mediocre. Fuck no, because I get shot in the head if I just said something like that.
Yeah, no, they've what got me was the developers could have taken the easy way out, which is you could do something with your character, Joel, and then she would just kind of follow suit. Joel jump up, she would jump in. You had to actually physically go find shit for her to climb up on because she was too small. It's like, damn, man, they thought of everything. Even when she had to take people down, she couldn't physically do it, so she had to use stealth.
There was so many amazing things with The Last of Us. Dude. So many amazing things.
Yeah, and I actually wanted to help her. I mean, that I authentically connected with those characters. I was like, wow, I want to help her. So it's they got me. Yeah. Then somebody Call of Duty saying Persona 5 best exclusive this year. I haven't played it yet, but I've heard nothing bad about Persona 5. So
but real quick though, just super quick, Persona 5 is definitely a game that I'm definitely going to be getting soon. I definitely want to play that because I heard nothing but praise, so I'm definitely getting that. But as far as going back to my love for supposedly I guess the shitty games everyone would consider shit. Like I'll play anything. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. I'll play it because that's what I'm accustomed to. You know what I mean? Because I was lucky enough for myself to to be growing up on like all platforms, PC, Commodore, consoles, that kind of stuff like that. So I had the luxury of playing a lot of variations. The one thing I've also noticed too as well, if you go back and you look at the older generations, man, and I kind of wish this was still around to have a distinct reason to own all three. Well, I mean, outside from Nintendo because they're different, but to at least from Sony and Microsoft's perspective, is that I wish it was kind of like what it was back in the day, right? Like you owned a Sega Genesis for a reason because you had exclusive games on there like Phantasy Star. Or Streets of Rage, right? Or Altered Beast, or
that's a class.
Castlevania X and that kind of stuff like that, right? Or Bloodlines, I think it was Bloodlines, I think it was. But yet you also had a reason to own a Super Nintendo for Star Fox, Final Fantasy, Super Mario RPG, a lot of other great games on that. I kind of wish that there was still a distinct line to want to own both. I mean, for me there is, but I'm about just in generality wise, there's not a big pivot that's there that would say, okay, you know what? I want to own both because both are going to offer me different experiences. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. And I really wish like we had that generation again where like, Konami made a Castlevania game for the PS4, but there's also a different Castlevania game that's on the actual Xbox One. You know what I mean? Like I think something like that would be amazing. But I mean, people will say, oh, that just costs too much money. But again, the budget doesn't have to be a blockbuster fucking 50 to 100 million budget. It doesn't have to be that much. There's a lot of people out there that need to understand, like budget, middleware, and then also, AAA is there for a reason. But it seems like everyone forgot about the middleware and low budget games and only want to stick to nothing but AAA. But even you can't even guarantee the full-on product with a AAA game anyways. Half the damn time nowadays.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. They putting different Resident Evils on different things. Even with Metal Gear, they put Metal Gear Rising. So I remember when Kojima walked out on stage and whatever, and then the whole PlayStation community, that E3 just died. I mean, they died, that when he walked out on that Xbox stage and he said, well, I'm not going to bring Solid Snake. He brought Ryzen, or what's his name? Raiden, something like that. So they could do something like that. I've said that before. I said, look, Sony has tried to get different Microsoft games over, but Microsoft won't budge. That's why Sony's not going to budge on crossplay, because it's always the people that are losing that want crossplay. I mean, it's because helps their platform. You know, so yeah. But yeah, bro, damn, well, Bear. Yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say real quick before you end this off. The thing is, man, is that like when somebody will tell you that you have low tastes in games,
yeah,
that doesn't make sense. Like in a way, okay, I'm trying to work as best as I can because I don't want people like, huh? The fuck you talking about, fat boy? But the thing is, it's like, okay, when somebody tells you like you have low standards. But the thing of it is, though, is that like somebody like myself who literally will play anything, I don't have a standard. I don't need to define myself as a gamer for having a set standard. You know what I mean? If a game comes out and if it looks good to me and I'll play it, and if it sucks, I will openly admit that it sucks. But the thing is, though, with me, though, is that I'll find something about that game that sucks, that I'll find something that I like about it. And the same goes with you know, better quality type kind of games. You know what I mean? Like I said, that's all fine and dandy. But I mean, like in a way, like, I mean, everybody's not going to be like me. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people are going to have their own distinct taste. A lot of people are going to have their own distinct preference. A lot of people are going to have their own distinct genres they want to play, or even certain games they only want to play, and that's all they ever play, like Madden and Call of Duty per year, right? That's fine. But, like, because I've had people attack me before in the past freaking saying, oh, Bear, you got low standards because I played Life of Black Tiger. It's like, motherfucker, did you not see the amount of games that I have covered on my game channel? What the hell? You just sit there and actually tell me that to my face? Like, come on, man.
Well, I watched your Elite Dangerous.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
I had to give people pointers on that because people were like streaming. They were like, help, I need help with this game. And I had to tell people, I said, look, go ahead and I told the one guy, I said, look, you see that job right there where it says deliver this cargo to this? And the guy, you know, on the chat, he said, yeah. I said, well, go ahead and do that. That's what you are supposed to do. You're not going to be able to go out and assassinate different people and things like that, because that's you're not, nobody knows.
You're not geared up for it yet. Yeah, you're not geared for it yet. Yeah,
you're not ready for that.
That's why I love,
you know. Go ahead.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead, bro.
Oh
no, I was just gonna say that's why I've had to tell several people. I had a top 8 things what people should do in Elite Dangerous, and because people thought, well, they could just jump right in and do combat. I said, no, you'll get eaten up alive. And if you're in open play, when you're playing with actual physical gamers, they will scan your ship, see you ain't about nothing. They'll just blow you out of the sky.
Yep.
You know, so just go ahead and play offline. You're still in the cloud. I said, but understand, if it says you got 18 hours to deliver something, you have 18 hours. As soon as you click that mission, if you don't cancel, so that means if you start playing at midnight, you got 18 hours, you know, or if it's, you know, that's it. You have to do it. If not, your reputation takes a hit. And then the worse your reputation is, they're not going to give you jobs.
Yep.
If I got a shitty reputation, who's going to give me a job? You know, so, but a lot of people, you're right, Bear, when people bought that game, I think they were thinking, oh, it's going to be like we can play Capture the Flag on Call of Duty and things like that. I was like, no, it is an MMO. Where planets and space stations, you know, so people got mad at me. I'm like, dude, look, you all were supposed to look into this before you made a economic transfer and decided to support it. I already knew what it was because I've got it on the Xbox One, so I know what it is. So,
and so I'm ready. You know, and it's funny because when I was getting ready to buy that game the night before, it's online only. It's online only. Yeah. And I know that's a turnoff for certain people, but it's an online run game because the game evolves as you play. But outside from that, when I started watching videos for this game the night before I bought it, and I'm looking at how complex this game is, man, I immediately lit up. And I was like, thank you. Finally a game that's not going to sit there and force me to hold my hand and do whatever. Like trying to land in that game manually, dude.
Yeah.
Will rip your freaking hair out. Like that game is not... Dude, that game will brutally kick your ass if you don't know what the hell you're doing in that game. But once you figure it out and you start to learn everything, depending on what role you want to play as, dude, that game is incredible, people. It is so good. It is so freaking good, man. Yeah.
And I love the when it comes on, the prompt screen when it's prompting up, and it says the galaxy is dangerous. You need to be elite. That's it. That's you know. So
But
I'm like,
yeah,
why
like I said,
is it
like
called Elite Dangerous? You know?
well, exactly right. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's a real life, well, not real life, but I mean, it's a space simulator. It's not
Yeah.
like it's not like No Man's Sky where you can sit there and press one button to land, one button to take off, and do whatever you want to call it. No, you have to master the craft of landing. You know what I mean? You have to know what you're doing. You have to count for, like, if your ship is overburdened and you have to turn off certain modules in order to get the amount of speed that you need. It's so in depth. It's so much details. And there's so many crap things that I don't even understand myself in that game that I haven't even bothered fucking around with yet. I just been, I finally got my Asp Explorer, by the way. So I'm working on getting the money now to get my Anaconda so I can do full on better exploration. Dude, that game is so addictive. Yeah. That game is so addictive, man.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, I'm gonna start a group up. I'm gonna start a group up, and we'll have to hook up on.
Hell yeah, dude!
Because
private group, man, so we don't have to worry about
shit. Yeah, I'll escort you to where you're going, so you don't get. Because I told people, man, I said, look, some guy said he was trying to land, and they keep shooting him down. I said, well, did you ask for docking permission? And he put a big word, docking permission, with a question mark. I said, yeah.
Yep, that's your problem. Yep, right there. And the funny thing is too, as well, it's like this is like one of those types of games where like the game allows you to be whatever you want to be. You know what I mean? Like if you want to be an explorer, do it. If you want to be a pirate, do it. If you want to be a smuggler, do it. If you want to be a fucking tourist and go around and freaking carry people like tourists around at different star systems to make money, you can do that. Like there's so much diversity in that game, man. That game is so good, man.
Yeah, they've I told people, well, Dion, with your map on Elite Dangerous, you remember your map, when you pull that up, that's 4-dimensional. Because you have to travel within a big space.
That map confuses the hell out of me.
Yeah, all you have to do is set the map to fastest route. Because if not, it's going to give you the AAA exploration route.
The economical route. If you go to the economical
route. And because you're jumping less, you won't get jumped and pulled out of your flight, because they will attack you. The bigger your reputation is, that somebody's going to try to test you.
It's a slow game, but it's designed that way, Will Flow. It's designed that way. Yeah. It's not a game that's meant to be played like at a faster pace. But like I'm telling you, the amount of depth though is what sold me on that game. And boy, oh boy, man, for a game that only costs $30 for the vanilla version of it, or $50 for the Commander one, definitely worth your investment. It's definitely worth your investment, especially with 2.4 coming out there relatively soon, like later on this month or next month. And it's just more stuff, more. It's gonna be more stuff for me to do. Like I'm so happy that granted, I chose Elite Dangerous over Crash, but I'm kind of glad that I did. But I'm not going to ignore Crash. Don't get me wrong. I'm still getting that motherfucker, man. Let me tell you, man. But I wanted something different, something that with more complexity. And I'm really glad that I did. And I'm not disappointed with that game at all, because like being able to play that game, not only by yourself, but if you want to play with friends and do a private group and go around and explore and do certain things, fucking do it, man. It's such an amazing experience, man. It's such an amazing experience.
Yeah, there's actually a group of people. I don't know if they've set this up on Xbox or a PlayStation, but on PC, there's a group of people called the Gas Hogs. And if you have their email address,
the fuel rats.
Yeah, the gas, that's cool. You email them, you run out of gas, they'll actually come to where you are and fuel your ship up.
Yep. That's why I don't leave. If you're going to go up there as being an explorer, man, if you leave you leave a station without having a fuel scoop, man, you're not doing it right. You're not doing it right.
Yeah, and remember, folks, the first thing I told you guys to upgrade your ship with was a fuel scoop, not guns, a fuel scoop. So,
dude, I took all my freaking hard points off my ship. I don't need them.
Yeah, just give me fuel scoop.
It takes weight off my ship, so that way I get more light years to travel.
Yeah, and because I told people, I said, you're going to come out right on top of these suns. And they were like, what are you talking about? I said, you're going to come out right on top of the suns. And people were emailing me and tweeting me saying, well, I keep crashing into the sun. I said, well, that's because the gravity.
Come on, man. But the thing is, though, man, it's like exploring is probably one of the most tedious, monotonous roles to play. But for me, it's fun because I like being that first person to be like, you know what? I'm the first person to discover this star system. I'm the first person to discover this Earth-like planet. I mean, dude, you can go and visit Earth if you want to. You can't land on it yet, but you can definitely go and and look at it. And some of that, you can go to Mercury, you can go to Jupiter, Pluto, you can go to freaking Saturn and stuff, dude, man. Like, I'm like, yo, come on, dude, really? Because the game is based on our real life galaxy system, according to whatever you want to call it. So
the Frontier. Yeah. I thought they did an excellent job. Yeah, at 400 billion stars. And they said it's real, guys. I mean, the closer you get to the center of the galaxy, the more dense it gets. There's black holes. There's extraterrestrial life. I mean, it's
Stargate.
There.
That's what they're called.
Yeah, and I know on Xbox I was getting frustrated. And like I told people, I must have blew my ship up, self-destructed. Like, I'm not doing this right. Let me start over again. So, but I'm buying it next week, and when I get about 3 hours, I will just be playing Elite. I've got the headset set. Shout out to Mark Camacho. He donated me a headset for me because right on. Mine broke. Yeah, mine broke. So shout out to him. But guys, get a few scoop and just try delivering. If anything, that will get you used to the controls. And
the easiest thing
right.
The two easy things you can do first is there's certain delivery missions that you can do that has I forget what the icon looks like. But the easiest way to make money really quickly, first and foremost, man, is going to either a nav beacon or going to a low or high extraction site. And sit there and wait until the actual Federation ships come around, and they'll start shooting at someone that's wanted. When the Federation ships are shooting at someone that's wanted, you tag the person that's wanted, and you blow them up, and you get rewarded for your bounty. You go back to the station, hand in your bounties, boom, extra money in your pocket.
Yep, upgrade your ship.
Yep.
Yeah, they've got a little bit of everything. Now, what Star Citizen has is that when you do escorting in Star Citizen, they have like a lounge. And it's kind of like what happened in Star Wars when Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke Skywalker were trying to find a freighter. They actually have that kind of mechanic in Star Citizen, and those are real people you're talking to in Star Citizen. Hey, I'll give you this if you help me get to there. That's one of the differences in Star Citizen and that. But somebody put down earlier, they got $150 million on startup. So
Jesus Christ.
I know. So I need to do something like that. Maybe I can buy more of these games.
God damn. Like even EVE Online is finally getting the ability now to go and like explore planets now and stuff like that too as well. So it seems to be a common trend. Thank you, No Man's Sky.
Back when it was called World War B. I was in that. I mean, that went on for 4 days. Like,
yeah, EVE Online's been around for a long time, dude. For a long time.
Yeah. And you don't need you can have a low level computer to play that game. And it's good. I mean, it's a good sim, has its own economy. But when World War B broke out, it took 4 days. And I'm not talking about video game days. It was human days, like on this planet. You went back to play. They were still going at it. Like they were calling for help and reinforcements and making deals with each other. It was a matter of fact, it's so big, somebody did a documentary on it and put it on YouTube. Just type in World War B, EVE Online. And they went back and forth. People were getting jumped, killed. Ships were getting stolen. It was hilarious. So, but
just real quick to what you're saying here, Dion, like I said to you in the chat, here's what I'm doing. Yeah. This is not going to solve your problem, but it's there if you cannot stand landing in the game. Put a damn freaking an auto docking computer chip on your actual ship, and you're good to go.
Yeah, because I had trouble with that too. But here's what I had to learn. I was trying to fly it like a jet, but it's a spaceship. There is no true pitch and yaw because we're in space. So you had to understand. Like I was landing, but I would be upside. Huh? Yeah.
I'm laughing at what Curveball says. Anyone who plays EVE Online lives in the basement is a virgin. Well, I never played EVE Online, but I don't live in the basement.
Well,
that's for sure.
I played it for like six months, not every day though. It wasn't in the basement though. I had it up here on my floor. But I was landing upside down. This is for Dion, and you just have to remember you can stop your ship and then just thrust it over. it'll roll like a, it'll just roll and there's no pitch.
Or you can click in your left analog stick too as well, so that your ship will actually strafe left or right.
Yeah, which is very good in combat, especially the strafing is very good because they'll pin you on, when you're fighting in space, they will pin your ship, meaning that they will start cutting you off, bringing you in closer, and then you'll overshoot them, and then they will get behind you. It's very hard to get them off your tail. So it's space combat. Once they're behind, you're behind. You can't, it's hard. But we're nerding out about that. But Bear, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down, brother.
Yeah, man.
And I appreciate you joining me, and I appreciate
Thank you so much for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Man, anytime, open room. So it's no big deal. I appreciate you coming back and hanging out.
Yeah, anytime, dude. Anytime.
Yeah, so thank you all in the chat, and I appreciate you all hanging out. Been here for a while, and you all that were here at the beginning, middle, and end, guys. And remember, if you go out tonight, wear white. Take it easy. Craig Harris with Bear Hugger 29.
Later, guys.
Yeah, take it easy. Thanks.